Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mushoku Tensei, a jobless reincarnation. Tonight on episode 6 of season 2. So, what happened in the last episode 5? That was a great question. Pretty much we're in the school now. Lots of new characters, lots of old reoccurring characters that are also at the school. Shout out Zenoba. And the like, Fitz, aka Sylphie, or Sylphie, aka Fitz, depending on how you want to spin it, is around. That's like a really big Rudy connection, of course. And then we got like Princess Ariel, Luke, the two Beast people, Linnea and Persina, the squad. We got a huge squad, a couple conflicts going on and such. But before we even get into that, and we'll do a little scroll through in a minute, this is a long-awaited comments episode. Yay, yay! So we're gonna do comments for episodes 3, 4, and 5 of Mushoku Tensei. So let me just get that up. Boom. Because yeah, last time we did it was episode 3, and so we've been letting them bake, letting them simmer, let them, you know, I ran out of synonyms. But yeah, so 3, 4, 5. Ooh, wow, he leans in close to the camera on that one. He kind of crazy for that. But yeah, so should be exciting. Honestly, we just kind of go into it, right? I mean, that's what we're here to do. So yeah, I'm just gonna I've already read all these, and they got spoiler checked and the like. I'm just gonna kind of top to bottom it on some of the big ones, you know. And we'll see where the winds take us. So first, I think this is a good point. Because one of the things I was yapping about is like, if I remember what I was saying correctly, I mean this was 11 days. It was only 11 days ago that's crazy. Time flies. But yeah. So I think what this is in context to what I think if I remember what I was saying is like, sex just for the sake of sex is something that was annoying me. So I was like, why is this thing here if it doesn't serve something to the plot? Like I was getting onto that idea, right? That like, if it doesn't actually push something forward, then it's a waste of my time as an audience member. And this is giving kind of a pushback to that I think is very deserved and very true. Hence, I gave it a little hearty heart. So the point here is that things don't have to lead places to be a thing, though. There's a Chainsaw Man example, which I think works really well. And this isn't really much of a spoiler because it's such a kind of it's not like a plot spoiler or anything. Where we just see a character's like morning routine, setting up the environment, you know, brushing the teeth, cooking up eggs, bean chilling breakfast mode in an otherwise action-paced anime. To what extent does this differ to the scenario present here in Mushoku Tensei? And why is the interpretation different from your perspective? So, like, just with Chainsaw Man, and it's been a minute since I watched Chainsaw Man. That was on the channel and everything. But, like, I feel like, at least in this example, if I remember correctly, there is some purpose to it. And it does lead somewhere. In that we get to see this character Aki's morning ritual, and then we get to see later how that gets disturbed when other characters enter the picture, like, you know, like power or whatever, right? And so I'm trying to be vague, but yeah. So it does serve, like, seeing his morning routine, like, it tells us kind of how he works, you know, how he's got, like, he's very structured, he's very steady, he's very professional, even in his own breakfast routine and such. And then, boom, bang, forces of chaos enter. That shows us some character dynamics and such, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's not like it's helping the plot at all. Like, it's serving to characterize, right? And serving to characterize is very valuable. And it's also the point of, like, if you have a character that I like enough, then you could show them just making breakfast and, like, filing their taxes and driving around and running errands. You could make an entire 5-hour film of that. And if I like the character enough, I'll watch the entire thing. So even if there is no, like, greater plot, if you just straight up enjoy a character, then there is something, I think, value. I mean, that's like what slice of life literally is, right? So there's definitely, like, value to be had there. So yeah, and I think I was kind of going a little unhinged mode probably when I was saying that. So we're running that back a little bit. Hey, I don't know what that was. Okay, but yeah, so I do think I would agree that there is value there. Mushoku Tensei, the thing that, sorry, I'm spitting all over my monitor. The thing, because I think I was talking in context to Roxy cranking it of, like, what did that do? I think that was the example I was giving. The thing is, like, Mushoku Tensei sometimes it leads somewhere and then sometimes it doesn't. And, like, sometimes in the parts where it doesn't lead anywhere, I mean, sometimes I feel like it doesn't even serve to characterize people additionally. It doesn't serve for, like, a payoff later. It just is kind of there, maybe as, like, a gag, and then it's kind of over. And so, like, an example of that would be, like, the easiest example, I think one of the greatest offenders would be Rudy at the beginning of one of the Doldia tribe episodes, where he's just peering on the children, like Eris bathing with Minitoner or whatever. And then the dad walks up and is like, if you do that to my daughter, I'm going to kill you. And then, like, that's kind of the scene. And so, like, what does that show? Okay, it shows that Rudy's still a degenerate, right, in some ways. He still is, sexually doing suspicious things or whatever. That's nothing new. I don't, it's not like I would expect him not to do this. But it's, like, showing that again, I don't think, like, tells us anything more about his character. And then, I mean, it shows that the dad's protective of his daughter, but that's, like, to be expected, right? Like, I don't think that's really much of a thing. And that's, I think, the easiest thing to, like, poke at. Because, like, even... I literally scrolled through the entire season of 1. Because season 2, I've actually appreciated how they've handled, like, the sexual elements quite a lot. I've liked what they've done with season 2 a lot more overall than season 1. Season 1, it felt like there was a quota where it's like, okay, guys, we finished the episode, but there's nothing sexual. Quick, throw in something random. It felt like that sometimes a little bit. I mean, Elena Lee's, bro. Can we do something with her character other than she has sex with everyone? Please! I mean, she's around, so hope, like, we might be getting payoff for that soon. In which case I'm hoping. I mean, we got some more information about her whole curse, like the sex curse thing. I'm gonna deal with that later. But back to this. Like, why is the interpretation different? It's different in that, like, there's the execution of how it's used, right? Where, I think the Chainsaw Man example, like, it does set up something for the future with how those characters interact, how, like, oh, look at this new force of chaos in what is traditionally a much more structured life, which is kind of like, we get a feel where we can empathize with Aki when everything's going on, because it's like, dang, like, I'm trying to cook my eggs and they're playing like children, you know? And then back to Mushoku Tensei, it, like, does that, and then all that other stuff I was saying, I'm getting lost in my words, but in Mushoku Tensei, sometime, like an example of, one of the times where there was, like, something accomplished, but I'm not, like, there was a point to it, but it's still, I'm a little unsure of, would be the example of, Eris, like, falling asleep in the hay after running away from her classes, and then Rudy, like, starts going, like, creepo mode up on her, and that... It was like, okay, that was cool. Rudy's confident, like, he's feeling it enough that he's willing to go creepy mode. That's a kind of a new step for Rudy, because I don't think he had, like, physically started molesting someone before. So it's like, oh, that's new. So that, I guess, like, turned it up a notch. That's something that tells us. That's a characterization for Rudy. It, like, serves as, like, some part of, like, showing that he's interested in her and making her aware that he's interested in her sexually. So that's something. But then most specifically, and I think it was even within the same episode, he's, like, all creepy on her, and then later she gets the ring from Gillian that's supposed to, like, ward off wolves or, like, wolf men or something. And then Rudy's, like, about to, like, she's asleep in his bed and he's about to go creepy mode on her, but then he sees the ring and the wand he gave her. I think he gave her that wand. He sees the wand, which represents, him teaching Eris, and then the ring, and he's like, dang, I guess I won't actually, So in that way, like, the earlier scene of him just kind of, like, molesting her, which didn't really, like, it didn't have a direct, like, plot consequence of he molested her and now he's getting his hands chopped up. Like, it didn't do anything like that. But it did serve as, like, an important contrast to something later in the episode where he chooses not to do that. So it's like, okay, we got to see how by having this relationship with Eris and by teaching her, he's actually, like, learning to not peeve on her. Like, he doesn't want to peeve on her. He's kind of lost that, like, desire or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's a kind of, like, I can work with that, And then the immediate next episode, she gets thrown in, like, she walks up to his bed as the present from Philip in her little, like, white nightgown, and it's like, okay, well, we're back to the fire. But, so, like, in some, like, sometimes Mushoku Tensei does things that are, like, pretty suspicious, in that sense of, like, sexually with children, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, like, I can see what you're cooking with, so it's like, okay. But then sometimes it's like he spies on the kids. It doesn't really do anything. I don't really see, like, I don't think that gives, like, extra characterization or whatever. And then it's kind of over, and it's like, well, I feel like we could have used that time for something else that actually shows characterization, explores something, does just something, And then, like, another example I would give for, like, kind of what I'm trying to talk about would be, like, Pax, where it's like Pax says all this nonsense about Roxy, about, like, I'm gonna R her, I'm gonna do all these horrible things, and then Rudy's like, okay, dude, and then Pax's brother Zenoba just deals with him. Where it's like, okay, what did Pax being disgusting like do? I mean, it made me not like Pax, but then somebody that didn't actually care about anything to do with Pax just came in and fixed it, right? Like, because nobody doesn't care that Pax is all like sexually deviant, right? He's just like, oh, figurine maxing. Oh, this is my boy Rudy. Is he my new master? So like all the in your face stuff with Pax, it's just like okay, like I get it. Like, can we do like? And I was getting hype. I was like, oh, we're gonna kill you. Like, let's do it. Okay, like you're getting me riled up because you're throwing all this crazy stimuli, you know, at me of this guy speaking this way. But then I feel like all my stimuli was like, no. You know, Zenoba just goes in, breaks his arm, is like, we're out of this hoe. It's like, Zenoba, like, I don't know, that, you know, and so it feels like it could have gone somewhere that could have been used for something and then it wasn't. But yeah, again, there are times when Mushoku Tensei has done it really well, and I've appreciated it. Season 2, I've been pretty happy overall. Though it does still kind of feel like it's just, it's in every episode, right? Like, and I'm just a little wary. Listen, the world is weighing down on me. It's just like, okay, next episode 6. I mean, there's gonna be something sexy in it, right? Like, panties will rain from the heavens. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's just kind of everywhere. And a lot of the times it's used effectively. Sometimes it's not. Overall, I'm kind of just meh. Because it's kind of like, especially when it comes to, like, with children, I take it as something pretty seriously. And so for it to just kind of be everywhere and sometimes not used in ways that I think is at all, like, meaningful, keyword sometimes, then that upsets me, right? Where it's like, listen, you're already doing something kind of crazy by throwing in children with this mix, by like mixing these chemicals together, and so, like, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I do appreciate this this pushback or whatever. I think that's a really good point, and I mean, like, the entire slice of life genre literally is like, a lot of the time there just straight up isn't a plot, but like, if I love the characters or it's telling us something about them and like we're getting to, you know, live life with them, then it's really like, that's really interesting. But if it's just like, oh, sexy sex, then it's like, it doesn't really do much for me. And again, you know, personal preference is a huge part of it as well. Yeah, but yeah, so we got one comment in. We're one in. Roxyism is huge, real. Accidentally touches Sarah's chest and doesn't even realize he's touching her breast. Yeah, and like in season 2, like as an example for how the sex stuff is being used, it's to show Rudy's sexual trauma coming out of the Eris situation. I mean, that's, yeah, boom, tells us a lot about Rudy in a pretty interesting way I haven't seen before. So like, that's pretty, I'm down with that. Yeah, so I've liked what they've been doing with season 2. Season 1, just some of the moments were getting, it's just, I think it's just, it's everywhere. Like, if they pulled it back a little bit and then only used it when it was like actually kind of doing something really pog, then I would like it. Like, I would be really down with that, you know. But yeah, season 2's been good so far. Hey, keep it going. So that's massive. He's my boy. Rudy was missing a bro, so real. They did kind of just get wet last episode, so there could be an undressing and drying scene, and that's another part of it where it's like, a lot of the times, and this is a small gripe I have with the show, like even outside the sexual things, there seems to be like a lot of coincidences, which a lot of the times is fine, but sometimes it's like it kind of annoys me a little bit, and like such as what later in the episode 5 thing where like Eris dropping the panties, or not Eris, Sylphie Fitz dropping the panties just to like hoe Rudy. It's like, yeah, so like I feel like sometimes the sexual, like, well, I don't know if I'd say that, at least with the water, like it really was just kind of there to make that happen as opposed to feeling more natural, just because of how consistent the sex is, that whenever it shows up due to like something kind of coincidental, then it's like, it feels like it just wanted to happen as opposed to happening more naturally. But I would honestly, I'm not sure how confident I am with that as applied to the sex part. I'd have to like rewatch some parts of the show to see how often that actually really does happen, because maybe that doesn't happen too much with the sex part, like anything, and when I say sex I mean sexual elements as a whole, right? Like the getting wet thing was kind of that, but even then, like, I appreciated like how this comment goes, right? It was important to have that scene because it was setting up Rudy in the erectile dysfunction. Yeah, and so I like that. Like, that was worth the payoff for, like, the coincidence or whatever. So when it comes to the sexual elements, that probably is not something that I'd be too worried about, like contrivances or whatever. But that's something I've talked about before that happens somewhat frequently that is like, and that's why I'm like, I start coping and go like, maybe Man God's planning some crazy things, and that's why these coincidences are happening, you know. And some people are like, you're smoking crack, and I'm like, okay, continuing, onwards and onwards, bro. I have like a burp inside of me, bro. Okay, light novel cut content. Some of these true. Giga Chad bartender is. I'm so sad that we lost another Giga Chad bartender because I love Giga Chad bartender. Sarah POV was cut. That's actually pretty sad. I'm fine with Sarah. Suzanne, like, counter arrow's not that bad. I'm just like, you don't stand up for Rudy. Yeah, get out of here. Like, you're not being homies, you know. If you don't stand for nothing, you gotta draw a line somewhere, okay? You gotta draw a line somewhere. If you're just gonna let Soldat grab Rudy and it's like, dude, Quagmire was out here saving y'all's lives 5 minutes ago, and y'all gonna let Soldat do this to Quagmire? That's just like, that's just rude. That's not good homies. Not good homies. But yeah, Sarah was actually gonna apologize to Rudy, which is why she was looking for him. That's pretty sad. Yeah. Again, so I liked that. I mean, I thought that was well done, and I don't think Sarah's like a bad person or whatever. I'm fine with Sarah. So that's so based. Elise, a redhead, sounds similar to Eris. Copium. But yeah, that's actually super true. Also, I hope you keep in mind Rudy's ED when the inevitable sexualized content comes again. Like, exactly, inevitable sexualized content. That's what, like, that's such a large part of the show, I feel like. Which a lot of the times is fine, but, you know, yeah. Yeah. Continuing. This is super true. Soldat's just so great. Rudy associates sex with abandonment, 100%. So body shuts down when, like, sex with abandonment, locked up peen defense mechanism. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 1,000,000%. I think like, it makes a lot of sense that this happens for Rudy. Like, I've always been happy with, like that always makes sense, right? Why wouldn't he have a lot of trauma when Eris, the girl that he was with for what, 5, 6, like, I'm thinking, how long? He was, I think, like 5, 6 years. Because he was like, it was like 8 to 13, I think. Whatever. Eris for 5, 6 years, everything you've been through, trying to save her all this time. You think it's the culmination of how intimate y'all have been together, and then she disappears? Yeah, like, no wonder the peen said, okay, no, we tried it, never again. Never again. My intimacy, I was hurt in an intimate way. We never get an intimate again. Oh, we done with intimacy. I get it. No. Yeah, and then Rudy's suicide attempt was pretty intense. And I think somebody talks about it in a minute, so I'll hold that in. The morals thing is interesting. That's kind of an entire thing here. So I'll just kind of hit that real quick. And so let me start with this one. First off, yeah, I think when I replied to the original comment, I think I spun into a tangent without addressing the comment too fast. I probably did that. I don't remember perfectly. But if so, kind of my fault. My fault, we'll take those. But yeah, last episode I kind of established my take on it. I think this is interesting where, like, let me grab the bits. He should follow his own personal moral system primarily while withholding from overtly violating the local moral system. Yeah, I agree with that, sure. I mean, I agree with that completely. I think that's good. The issue is just sometimes, like the, where was it? Yes, that means he'll do bad things, but it's fine to judge him for it, but demanding he fit the mold you view as best morality is pointless unless he accepts that morality, and honestly, it's pretty likely Rudy's idea of a better morality won't align with ours. Yeah, for sure. It's just, it's kind of the situation where, like, if he goes from the Earth world, Earth DS world, right? The past life, and he has, like, the moral systems from then pushed upon him, and then he goes to this new place with a kind of new societal moral, you know, force acting upon him, and and then his personal moral system has nothing, it doesn't have any attachment to his past one, then it's like, bro, you didn't internalize anything, you know? Like it would be, I would see that as, like, kind of a misfortune if he went from the past world to the new world and carried none of the morals, because then I would say that none of those morals were something that he internalized and he was ready to cast those off, right? And so I would be like, I would see that as a negative thing for him, to not internalize morals. And I mean, and that's why I think this is such an interesting distinction to make of, like, his personal moral system versus the past life moral system versus the current life moral system, right? Because and that's where this other comment I think really kind of hits a nail of, I think before Rudy gets kicked out of his parents' house, he probably had very nearly abandoned his original world's morals. Not that he didn't know what they are, or that he actively went against them, but that he just didn't care anymore. I think that's actually pretty true. I actually really like that. And that's one reason that I'm so... that, like, the Rudy type of person kind of makes veins pop in my head sometimes. Where it's like, you know, you just gave up, right? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know... like the whole like incel or what's the otaku neat. It's more an otaku neat angle. The whole like otaku neat, like let me just be a burden, like I don't care about morals, you know, blah blah blah. I think that is pretty true for how he is, and that's something that like I condemn, you know. And he didn't care if they died because he was depressed and cynical. Super true. And so for him to jump to the new world, then like why, you know, if he kind of gave up completely on the last world, why would he carry anything with him? Like, yeah, that makes sense. Now, even if the world is not enforcing much of any morals when it comes to his degeneracy, he ultimately does want to be a better person, so I want to believe that he'll try to change even in that way. It might just take longer for him to change than the other aspects of his character. Yeah, for sure. And there is something valuable, like, when it comes to how he's still trying to be a better him, right? There is something said in here about that. Like, he is attempting to grow, and that's great. Like, good on you, Rudy. It's just, man, I guess it's specifically with the, like, it's just with the sexual degeneracy that, like, gripes me. I don't know. I'm kind of sick of it. I can kind of see what they're doing. It's just sometimes with the framing of the show, as I've mentioned like 5 billion times, so we won't sort it anymore. Morals is hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about because everyone has such subjective internal things, as you kind of say here, right? Let me just read this bit. I think this bit was good. Basically, the thing I was trying to get at is that throwing the expectation on Rudy that he should quote-unquote know better and follow our modern-day morals kind of just misses the point. Sure, Rudy could just immediately drop his personal morals and learn to wear the mask of the expected morality, but Rudy wouldn't actually grow unless he follows his own morals, makes these mistakes, and internalize them to gradually shift his own morals into something he can accept as better, which he has been doing, as even if his original degeneracy is fine with the world's standards, he has been making an effort to restrain that, because that falls into the better morals he wants to grow into. Boom! Yeah, and I think that's very good of him to do. And so yay, Rudy. It's just the missteps hurt, right? And it's kind of tough because, like, it's kind of the point where, like, if you make a mistake, who does it hurt, right? It would hurt normally, like if I were to make a mistake, or like not normally, like a lot of the times if you make a mistake, it can hurt you, it can also hurt the people around you, right? And so it's interesting where with Rudy and sexual degeneracy, like he can do sexually degenerate things, aka reach his hands up Eris's skirt or whatever, but like he gets beat up or whatever and then kind of like gets mad at himself for that, but Eris is kind of fine, right? She just kind of takes that and moves on, you know? So it's like kind of, I feel like there's kind of a Rudy, there was, I think it's different in season 2, I've appreciated how they've done it, but it kind of felt like Rudy focused to a degree, like, and mostly with Eris, mostly with the stuff with Eris, where like she just kind of was fine over and over again, and it's like, well, if she's fine, then maybe it's fine, you know? But then now with Sarah, it was like, okay, Sarah got hoed for it, because they didn't, like, you know, that kind of fell apart, and Sarah got hurt by that, and Rudy got hurt by it, so it felt like a lot more complete to me, as opposed to the Eris part. So, yeah. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm getting so lost in the sauce right now. Luckin', no more morality talk. We luckin'. Okay. Sarah, again, I'm pretty fine with Sarah. She's a kid. She probably hasn't done this very often, you know. Well, she's probably like 15, 16 in this world, which is an adult in this world, whatever. But yeah, I don't think, like, this is, being intimate is scary. She got hoed, and she wanted to go apologize, but then it just went bad twice, bro. They had it go horribly wrong first time, where, you know, erectile dysfunction hits, and then lack of communication because nobody knows what to say there, and then she leaves and has to save, and feels like she needs to save face. Ouch. She comes back wanting to apologize, you know, when freaking Rudy is drunk out of his mind, and then horrible time for her to walk up. Boom, everything gets like even worse, you know. So it's just, hey, sometimes it's just like that. I don't got hard feelings for Sarah or Rudy in that too much. But yeah, now you know why all the sex matters. All is a big word. Some of the sex Agreed. Okay, Pog. Big shout out to Psyculturist per usual. And at SP, actually, Pog, go check out those creators. Good reactor. Mushoku Tensei. Go look. More Mushoku Tensei. So that is based. I don't even know what you're talking about, Yosh. Rudy, bro, you just can't try to kill yourself every time. He doesn't try to kill himself that often. No, Rudy, hey, he was going through it, so that clutches it out. This thing, so first you love counter arrow, then you immediately want to leave. Listen, counter arrow didn't defend Rudy against Soldat. I see that as a demerit against them. They're not like awful, horrible people, but they aren't our homies. And this is just untrue. Like, I was kind of like, when I read this, I was like, you hated Eris in the beginning too? I was like, did I? Because I was like, I could have sworn I didn't. So I literally the first episode of Eris is called Eris Loved. And everyone's talking about how great Eris is, including me, right? Like, Eris would be the most beloved. Yeah, I loved Eris from the beginning. Like, I don't know if you're like mixing reactors up or like, I don't know. Maybe this is like me spreading misinformation on the internet, giggle. I don't know. So maybe, I don't know. If you're gonna go against me, that's fine, right? If you want to say I'm wrong, go for it. Because I'm wrong sometimes. I'm not perfect. But but don't be wrong if you're gonna tell me I'm wrong. Like, at least be right in accusing me of things, right? That would be appreciated. Okay, episode 4. Let's drag through this. Zenova's not twerking, he's appreciating the statue. So true. The fake echo's ridiculous. Killing a red dragon is a big deal. Rudy is just super OP. Rudy's got it. If Rudy wants something dead, unless it's like top 0.1% of the verse, I think he's pretty much got it in the bag, right? If he can get the drop on him, I mean, that's kind of the problem with magic, right? But incantationless helps so much, because he doesn't have to, like, recite poetry to actually charge up, you know? He can just go, and then shoot up a super fireball or whatever. Like he did with Orsted, right? Sophie's hair is a fun question. This, I think, is about the mini Tona thing, which I'll look again at that scene, because it was like, oh, wait a second, this is not mini Tona. She's literally your spitting image, because she's a sister. True. Dragon Lord. Somebody else said Dragon Lord. Was it the comment with the reply here? No. I don't know. Dragon Lord. Elena Lee's Dragon Lord. Dragon Road. I don't know. It's okay. Not Dragon Lord. Calm down. Audiobooks. Thumbnail. So real. We fixed the pip. Yeah, Dragon Road. Again, I can fix that, I guess. I'll fix it when I see it, when I pull it up next. And yeah. Minitona, this I found interesting. Minitona and Teresa isn't there. They're still small. On the other hand, you have seen another person with purple hair. Keisha Rika? Is this Keisha Rika's, like, son / lover / something? Well, why would they... The thing with... Well, because Keisha Rika's the only other character with purple hair, right? So that either... Like, I could... You know, it'd be really funny if this is, like, Keisha Rika's kid. Imagine, bro. Where it's like, she had this kid and then died and respawned, and now he's grown up. That would be so funny. Or, because, I mean, the reason I say lover is because she was talking about being wed to somebody, being, like, looking for her, like, husband or something. So, could it be that, just because it was foreshadowed? I think the kid thing would be so funny, too. So I'm assuming that's kind of what you're pointing to there, but who actually knows? The thing with Minitina and Tersina, though, like... So it had been like, what, 3-ish years since we last seen them, so they probably would have grown up to 11, which would be kind of crazy if Minitona had grown up that much. But honestly, I don't know how their feral genes work. What if their races, like, grow up extra fast or something? I don't freaking know. Like, they definitely aren't Minitona and Tersina, right? They're the sisters, but I think if the show wanted to, it could have been, you know? Just by saying, oh, they grew up extra fast and then got sent there because their interactions with Eris and they something, I don't freaking know. But yeah, it definitely isn't them though, so that's cool. Episode 5. Rudy asked Elena Lee's her age and she said she's 50, but Rudy said she is lying. Plus, somebody else said something about that. Oh yeah, well this is just, the thing with Elena Lee's, what are they trying to do with Elena Lee's, bro? What are we building to? Can we, I feel like we gotta be building to something because she's got a curse. But it's just like, conceptually to me, the concept of hot adventurer woman with sex curse, has to bang people constantly or else she dies, that literally sounds like a freaking erotic manga, game, movie, film, hentai, omega lol, right? Like, that's like pornography plot. It sounds like, you know? So for it to be actually, like, occurring in, like, a, you know, not meant to be erotica type thing, it's just like, okay. I feel like our genres got mixed, you know? sex curse and she's banging people in every scene she's in. It's like, dang. What am I watching? Is this a Mushoku Tensei? Yeah. I mean, it is kind of in line for Mushoku Tensei. But yeah, so, and then, okay, so kind of on that line, like her having a curse, it's like, why? I don't like, just make her horny. But like, that means we're going to do something with the curse. And I mean, she's kind of here to like fix the curse, right? So it gets this motivation to keep her around. But yeah, like, let me just read this. And about her curse, she actually has one. When they were traveling to university, they took a wrong road and had been missing for a week. And because of that, she was looking pale and looking like she will die. So she can last about a week before doses. Okay. And then she told him about the curse, that she will die if she doesn't sleep with men on the regular. And Rudy tried to do something for her, like rubbing her chest and touching her. Like, why? Can we just take a right road instead? Like, we're taking a wrong road to have this, like, ooh, we have to sexy sex the hot woman. I don't know. It just sits oddly with me. Linnea and Minitona are two. Okay, let me read this. This is crazy to me too. Quote, it's an absolute win that Linnea and Minitona are two different people, because it would be really awkward if I was attracted to the same girl we knew back when she was a kitten. You know, would it be weird? It would be. Okay, so let's accept that it would be weird if we were attracted to the same girl when we knew back when she was a kitten. And like, what if we applied that to Rudius? I'm just joking. Unless, you know, like yeah. I mean, I would agree. It would be kind of odd. I don't know. It's just, yeah. Or it's like if you see someone if you grow up with somebody, like, that's just, this mental age stuff is just crazy to me. But like, whatever. Linnea and Persina are basically princesses of the Duldia tribe. And they are not sisters. Yeah, I mean, Minitona and Linnea are sisters. Tersina and Persina are, I think, are also sisters. They're from the different branches, hence why one is like the cat and the other is like the dog or whatever. Yeah, we're good there. Yeah. And then I'm gonna analyze the OP some more in the OP and ED. I'll do that this episode as well, because FOE Ball, that should be fun. Fitz saving Rudy from the bullies is a nice reversal of how they met. Ooh, I kind of like that. I didn't even think about that. The starter Pokemon are by the birds. No, yeah, that is a fun parallel reversal. It just is crazy that it happened because Fitz freaking butterfingered panties out of a window that flew into his hands like that. That's crazy. Or did it fly next to him and he picked it up? I think he picked it up. Whatever. To go through the Elena Lee's curse, she had the curse for as long as she can remember. She can't remember her childhood, and she's an elf. Whatever you think her age is, multiply it by 10, and you are likely closer to her actual age. Freaking elves, bro. Long-living races in fantasy, I've never liked the long-living races. Give me, like, the races that live, like, 10 years. Give me the 10-year races. I don't know. I'm joking with that. But, like, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm actually 700 years old. I was friends with your great-great-great-grandpa. It's like, okay, dude. I don't know. I've just never been a huge elf guy in, like, other fantasy. Straight-up personal preference there. Like, let me be very, very, very clear. I'm more of, like, like dwarves, and I know dwarves can live long, but that's not, they're always one-upped by the elves, so it's funny. You know, I'm over like a dwarves, or like a goblins, or like, I don't know, something. To go through the Elena, oh, I read that. Elena Lees was never confirmed to have sex with Paul. She never really explained the reason why she hates him. She has sex all the time. Paul used to be a player. I feel like we can, like, I assume that to be true. Maybe it wasn't, I suppose. But I would assume it to be true. Because, I mean, he used to get game. She literally needs to get game or she dies, right? Though if they had only met after Paul and, like, Zenith were close, then I could see that have never happened. Because I don't know exactly when they all met when it comes to the party. Because I know the adventuring party was, like, you know, where, like, Zenith and Paul were, like, connected a lot. So it could be true that they never had sex. But it also feels like they definitely could have, depending on how the timeline maps out. So, yeah. This is crazy to me. Who would say no to a hot MILF or perhaps GILF elf, even in a university setting? I feel like she is doing every male student a favor and single-handedly improving uni morale. I got nothing to say on that one, Chief. Guys. I just, like, okay. She's just like, dude, it's like role reverse it, or like gender reverse it, and it's pretty crazy too, you know? Yeah, I mean, gender reversing it makes it really crazy, where it's like, imagine you have like a 500-year-old elf, and there's all these like, I mean, 15 in this setting, or like 18 in like modern world, like if you wanted to like, I mean, let's just say they're all 18 to even like cover both. You have like 500-year-old elf dude going after all the 18-year-old university students. It's like, that's kind of peculiar. And now it's like Elena Lee's is that, but like, you know, woman to man. And just like, I don't know, it's just wild to me. University arc has finally started. True. Zenoma, my beloved. The pale blue was referring to Linia's underwear. Yeah, I did completely miss that. I wasn't paying attention to her underwear. Skill issue on my part, I suppose. We are reading the comments. Not every mention of his labyrinth is connected to Zenith. There are countless labyrinths of the world. For sure. It's just, perhaps, right? Pretty much any old ruin from ancient times gets called a labyrinth, but it's good that you're being so mindful of it. Yeah, for sure. And then, this is very true as well, where, like, I mean, it would literally, the scene where all the girls are ganging up on him with the panties, I mean, that's just the world itself is like, okay, Rudy, you thought that you had trouble in the last time you were in school. What if we did it again? What if you got bullied again, you know? Which is very unfortunate, but then Fitz comes in clutch, right? So, it definitely does show that Rudy's doing, like, as much as he can to live a normal life. But it is struggling with it. Yeah, so I think it's true. You think Elena Lee's is 20? I'll bore your ins for a surprise. Yeah, I mean, the 20 figure, I think the 20 figure came from, like, me lowballing it as much as possible of, like, what's the lowest age she could be? Though I was saying it as if her actual age, so that, like, I was thinking actual age, right? But, like, I was starting with the minimum, right? And her being elf, I guess elves live for super long. I don't think we've gotten that confirmation. Have we gotten that confirmation ever that elves live a really long time? We can make the reasonable assumption because it's a fantasy show and they're elves, so why wouldn't they live forever? But yeah, so she's probably very old, like 100. She's literally been banging people like longer than Paul's been alive. Every couple days. Wow. Dude? I wonder what the number's at. Has she been keeping count? I feel like that'd be a funny number to hear. But yeah, okay. Light novel intro. During the initial interview with Genius, Elena Lees was actually all over Rudy physically in the novel, and both Rudy and Genius just kind of tried their best to ignore it. Why was she doing that? If she's not actually gonna have sex, then it doesn't help her with her curse, right? So, is that how the curse works? How does your sex curse work? Can you give me the details? I assume you need to actually, like, perform the intercourse action, and then you get... Well, it's probably, I'm literally in my head thinking that she's probably, like, not, like, whenever she's, like, banging people, it's probably more than one person at a time, in which case it doesn't necessarily need to be the intercourse part, but it can be, like, many of the sexual parts. So it's probably just, like, sexual, like, some sort of ambient sexual energy or something. I don't know, it's crazy conceptually. So, I don't know, is she getting, like, micro doses of it by, like, doing sexual elements, even if they're not, like, even if they're just, like, touching or whatever? Does she get, like, a little bit of a micro dose that helps her curse a little bit? Or is that just, like, habit at this point for her? I mean, if she's doing it constantly for many, many years, I mean, yeah. It's just crazy that she gets off to it so much if it's a curse, you know? Like, it's I guess you would have to at that point, or else you'd just go crazy. Maybe she's, well, okay, no, let's calm down. Elena Lees, I don't know, man, let's just calm down. Entire university is made from magic absorbing bricks, which is cool. And then, like, yeah, the Rudy's magic hitting the bricks shows that he's that, like, he's just crazy to be penetrating all these barriers and spells and nuts. I mean, he's just nuts. It is funny that Rudy adjusted his stone cannon not to kill Fitz. I appreciate that. Let's not just, like, imagine he walks into class for the first time and accidentally headshots the student he's supposed to duel. That's just unfortunate. Copium magic speech is really funny, and then Ariel is crazy charisma stat. That's pretty fire. It would have been fun to see that even more. Like, you know, give even more. But I feel like it was kind of emphasized. I mean, she got good presence on the stage for sure, right? Zenova running through desks is funny. Cliff going on a monologue about all the teachers here are useless. I mean, for all these, like, kind of going to this stuff, these students are all, like, so cracked, right? So, no wonder, like, what could, like, I feel like a lot of the teachers, actually, no, this, because it's saying, that it's more of an advertising thing, right? Because we're picking all the royal people. How cracked are these other students? I mean, Cliff is cracked, and then Rudy's cracked. Fitz is pretty cracked because she got all that incantation list. But yeah, how cracked magically is, like, Linnea and Persina compared to, like, the average enrolled student? Because this is literally just, like, the royal people, you get a free ride because we want you're advertising. And that's, I mean, that's accurate to like colleges, period, right? In like modern day Western America, right? That's pretty accurate to how college works, where people get huge scholarships based off of their merit, so that the school gets to say, look at our students, we have the best students. Like some schools do that. So that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, for like Cliff to say that the teachers here are useless, I feel like for someone like Rudy that could be kind of true. Though it depends. I mean, we'll just have to see what the teachers have. I think it would be cool if we got to see like a formal magic education, like evolve Rudy a step further, which is one of the motivations he's here, right? Like I think Man God mentioned that of like, dog, you're stagnated right now. Like, oh no, he said it of like I feel like my magic's started to like plateau a bit. So I think it would be really cool to see a teacher actually kind of like if he has a good mentor relationship with a teacher, and then boom, bang, bop, magic gets a little stronger. I feel like that would be cool. So hopefully Cliff is just coping. Also, some sort of misinterpretation that Rudy is getting about Eris thinking that he has a small penile member in the light novel. He also said that Eris told him that Rudy was really small. That's just a crazy thing to misinterpret. This is wild. But yeah, that's of course not the, yeah, that's just crazy to me. The Luke thing, somebody else kind of mentions, where was it? I'm skipping around too much. Somebody said something about Luke. Maybe it was in the last episode. Where is it? Right here. First of all, Luke saying that Rudy's for Gale has nothing to do with Luke's name. Think about that. So is it just that he forgot, like, selfie Fitz? The thing is, we haven't heard that much about the Fitz thing. Fitz, like, I don't know what Fitz has said about Rudy to Luke other than, I'm looking for Rudius, you know? Because we saw that at, like, the end of season 1, we got that scene of Sylphie, like, looking, like, talking to the people, being like, we're looking for Rudius because he's cracked, right? So how much has she opened up to Luke about how important Rudius is to her, you know? If it's a lot, then I could see him getting mad on Sylphie's front, but also it's like, dude, go talk to Fitz. Like, lay off of Rudy. Like let's actually talk to Fitz, and Fitz can clear that up a bit, instead of, like, just being pissed at Rudy. But in that case, we'll just have to see how that, like, drama pans out. I mean, we're in a school arc, okay? Drama's just part of the formula, and that's part of the fun, too. So I'm fine with it. Like, it's, you know, I'm down. But yeah, that would be the other option if it has nothing to do with, like, them both being nobles and, like, blah, blah, blah. Then it would be, okay, Fitz is the only other option, right? So yeah. Was there more stuff in here? The book Fitz reminded Rudy has a lot of great world building. Ooh, kind of funny. The panty falling scene is a complete accident. Neither Fitz meant to drop it, nor did Rudy realize what it was until he caught it. That's just unlucky. Bad RNG. Bad panty falling RNG. University splits fun too. Where they, like, I mean, this is pretty real, right? Like, the cliques will form. The different, like, even, like, different ethnic groups will, like, I feel like latch together into their own groups. A lot of the time in, like, cafeteria type settings, or just, like, settings where, like, a big area with a lot of different groups happen. They'll, like, go into their ethnic groups. And that sometimes occurs, right? So that feels really realistic, right? It is a little weird to, like, split it completely, you know, like, not due to discrimination, but to avoid conflict among students. Like, making it a hard rule of, like, this is where you sit, this is where you sit, is a little, like, I don't know if that's the best schooling policy, but I'm not expecting them to have a crazy nuanced, you know, blah, blah, blah schooling thing, where it's just like, you know what, they fight a lot, just put them in separate chairs, and if they're fine with it, we're fine with it, sounds good, so I'm fine with it. Panty falling scene, pog. This is interesting. I'm very excited to see more Linea Persina, and kind of how much magical affinity all these different people, especially because, like, including that one girl that is either the sister, that, like, sister duo, what was the frick their name, or somebody we don't know yet, like the one that gets to skip class, like skip the monthly class meeting. Shiera. It's either Shiera or it's somebody we don't know. That girl probably has crazy magic affinity because she's allowed to skip class, you know? In that, or, like, she's studying something really important, but, like, to be studying something important, you probably have to have crazy magic affinity, right? I would assume so. We'll see, though. I don't think it was stated in any way if Fitz dropped the panties intentionally or not, but I fail to find any way that'd be reasonable to do that on purpose. Also, a couple of details in this scene. The Gore D or whatever is unable to move Rudy because Rudy's locked himself to the ground with, I would assume, earth magic. That's pretty real. I mean, good move, Rudy. Like, It's kind of flight. What was it? Fight, flight, freeze. He says freeze plus magic. So good move. Unlike other girls, Fitz more or less understands extent of Rudy's power. Oh yeah, because she got it, blasted at her face. So he. Oh, you're using he for Fitz. That's kind of fun. I mean, kind of true, right? I mean, that's the identity. So he is worried not just about Rudy, but about girls. Or about like the girls, right? In case like Rudy does something to them. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a kind of a good point. We're gonna look at this. Shout out Ed again from Psychotrists. So I'll look at the OPED a bit more. And yeah, that should be fun. Rudy questioning his attractions arc begins. Gay arc. Am I gay arc? Yeah, because Fitz is a dude and he's about to fall for Fitz. And then he's going to realize it's Sylphie and be debated. That's crazy. Wait. He's going to really question his gender identity or his sexuality just to get, like, Uno reversed. That's crazy. That's actually exciting. I want to see that happen. What's that going to do to him? Ooh! This arc's about to be so good. I'm actually excited for this arc. And then if I got the Elena Lee's work curse, do you think you could make it pink? Yes, without fail. Every single... What? You only need to last 5 days before doses? Between doses? Light work. Light work. How much does a prostitute cost? Probably not that much, right? You can just hire a bunch of prostitutes. Easy clap. Just hire one prostitute forever. Find a cheap prostitute and then... That's what I was saying the other day, dude, in the Discord. Elena Lee's. Literally just get a boy toy. Get a boy toy to follow you around at all times. That is just like, oh, I'm feeling sick. Get over here, precious. Like, that easy, you know? Like, you don't even have to, like, unless their, like, ability to save the curse goes down if it's the same person over and over. What if the built into the curse is that she needs a bunch of different partners? Now, that would be devious. She doesn't remember anything about her childhood. She probably, like, she can't remember her childhood. She probably repressed it all because she got cursed with a bunch of mumbo-jumbo. Holy crap. She just is like, oh, I've been like this as long as I remember. I have to have sex with everyone. It's just crazy. It's just a crazy character backstory, man. But yeah, that was fun. Wait, is there one more? No, that was the old episode I was using as proof that I loved Eris from the start. Eris has always been my girl, bro. Well, Eris has kind of, I don't know, I've lost a little bit of faith in my Eris. My Eris love has I think it peaked and then we've kind of gone to a more stable spot. She'll be hopefully pretty interesting when she comes back. But yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll through the last episode, and then OPED analysis, and then we're going to watch 6. That's the plan. So, let me get that up. That was me scrolling through Season 1 with Pax. What's good with you, Pax? Pax, I never want to see you again. Thank you very much. Okay, Episode 5. She bangs dudes left and right. Yeah, you did figure that out about Elena Lee's, huh? Is she holding his hand in this meeting? No, she's just chilling. Yeah, she's just chilling there. She's having a good time. You know the crazy thing to me about this school? Elena Lee's is probably 9,000 years old or something, and she's just allowed to be here. Like, there's no age things. I mean, that's kind of clutch. It's like a university, you know? You can be 70 years old and still come get your degree. Bet, you know? It's just crazy when she's, like, probably older than, like, 90% of the teachers here, and she's like, give me some learning. Yeah. How long do elves live, you know? How long do elves get to live in this world? Sylphie gonna live forever. Dang. It's just elves are OP, bro. I'm just jealous of elves. That's why I don't like elves that much. Like, as a race concept, I am racist when it comes to fantasy. And I'm proud. But yeah, like, it's just like, you just get to live forever? I'm jealous. Me and my crappy human race, I get, what, 80 years, 90 if I'm really lucky, 100 if I'm exceptional. Like, you're out here living, like, 10 times my amount, and you could be just screwing around the entire time. That's just crazy to me, man. Elves are OP, bro. Hey, look at this cat boy. It's a cat boy. Okay, yeah. Rudy falling for Fitz. Real. Ariel spitting bars. Super true. Yeah, the like, let's, you know, we're from a bunch of different cultures, but like, let's make it work. Let's make it mix. So down with that. Zenoba saying, my boy, master. It's wholesome. It's kind of sweet. You know what, Zenova? Fine, Zenova. You get this. Hey, Zenova, you get this win, okay? It's a little endearing. Bad girl Linnea. Oh, I think I skipped over a comment that was saying that, like, Linnea bullied Zenova, and, like, Zenova knows things about, like, Princess Ariel because he was forced to by Linnea or something. I think that was one of the comments about, like, the light novel cuts. So that's interesting as well. Bring him here, meow. You throw meow at the end of your sentence like you've lost 90% of me being scared of you. Also, the whole, like, Zenoba getting bullied, straight, you know, Rudy gonna have empathy for that. Rudy kind of a boy. Rudy kind of a lad. Look at him go. He says, what's good with you? It's Rudy's grade, right? A 5th year. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I wanted to read this again because apparently I was kind of distracted last time. So, yeah, let me just kind of give this a full pass again. For fun. Bet. You know your place, I like that meow. Lydia, I ain't wanna hear it. Look at this humble brag, bro. My dad's the war chief. Okay, dude. Brings back memories, thighs. Oh, pale blue. There's the pale blue. Wait, do we get a glimpse? I'll look, because I guess I'm a degenerate. Let's do it. No, come on, low back, low back. I'm sorry, it's just, okay. How does he see the pale blue? His eyes are nuts. We don't even see it, bro. His eyes? He must have used, no, he used his demon eye, bro. He got to see it twice because he has the demon eye, so we got to see into the future to get 2 glimpses. Okay, that's why he got that. That's why he got that. Let's go with you, glutton. Can I just call you glutton? That's rude. I'm sorry. She's got an entire bag of chicken, bro. She's got 90 chicken legs. That's just crazy. What spells do you cast? What's your magic? We gotta go save a slave girl with Zenoba and these people, right? This is our squad. These 4 are our squad. Cliff, you're not invited. But yeah, we're gonna go, right? Just because the ED shows that. We'll see. Okay, yeah. To Cliff. He says a bunch of copium. That's okay. Oh, I just remembered another example of the sex stuff that I was going to bring up, but I'm going to ignore it for now. From Season 1. We're going to ignore it. We've had enough of it. Let's just enjoy Season 2. I've liked Season 2 a lot so far. I think Season 2 has been strong so far. Meeting up with Fitz. What's good with you, Fitz? Fitz is like, oh, he does care because he says he's investigating the mana cataclysm and that he's missing a friend. So Fitz is like, dang, he talking about me after all this time? So that was cute. That was sweet. Especially because it's been so much, like, with him leaving with the Eris thing, it's been so much even longer than just the mana cataclysm, you know? So that's kind of sweet. Zenoba got his, like, packed peanut butter and jelly with the crust cut off lunch. That is such a Zenoba lunch. You cut the crust off yourself? Zenoba, that's crazy. Luke. Forgetful. Probably of Fitz, but, like, isn't she literally wearing glasses that makes her extra, like, hard to see, remember? Or, like, it, like, disguises her face a little bit? She's literally trying to be forgetful, bro. Well, it's probably that, like, maybe Fitz never cleared it up to Luke. Being like, yo, he knew me not as Fitz, but as Sylphie. Did you ever say that, Fitz? Probably not. I bet you've kept your identity a secret from, like, everybody. I mean, well, because, yeah, your hair went white when you were falling from the heavens. They, like, the squad only saw you when your hair was white. But, yeah, so that's just a little miscommunication that Fitz can clear up whenever Fitz wants to. Hopefully Fitz will do that. Hopefully Fitz will do that if that becomes a problem. I kind of get why Fitz doesn't want to, because it's like, you know, it's kind of fun to toy around with it. And like, well, why else would Fitz not? I'll look at the Fitz scene again so we can see. But yeah, he says, oh, so I'm beneath your notice. I'm not surprised. So that made me think it was about him as opposed to Fitz, right? I'm beneath your notice. Yeah. So I kind of do think that it is about him. Because he straight up says that. Though it could be also about Fitz. I don't know. We'll see. Dang, Zenoba, you got good knowledge. Okay. Silent Fitz. Cracked. Let me watch this scene again. Where did the panties come from? Did they literally fly into his arms? Let's see. They're flying from the sky. What is this rank? Dude, it literally flies into his hand. That's crazy. It's just like... What a crazy way to open a scene. And then Fitz is just peeking out. Like, Fitz, you got magic. Hop down. I'm in danger because I just grabbed it. I'm holding panties right now. I'm in danger. Jump out the window. Come clutch it out, Fitz. Oh yeah, I just remembered another example. The two, I'm just gonna say real quick, the two of the examples of the sex stuff in season 1 that I kind of was like, kind of a little bit of a bro moment. Like something like, granddaddy Notos, freaking Eris's grandfather. His name's slipping my mind. Not Philip. Saros. Saros banging that one maid. It was like, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. I guess it shows us something about like how maids are treated, which is kind of lead up into the beast stuff. So I guess there's maybe a little bit there. And then Rudy wearing the panties on his face. That kind of was like a bro moment too. It was like, okay, dude, this is a fighting strategy. Is that how we're getting out of this? Like, okay, dude. But enough. Season 2, Rudy. Hey, I'm liking it so far, Rudy. I'm appreciating it so far. You get absolutely hoed. Dude, look at his face. He starts sweating that fast. Poor guy. Hoed by random chance is what it is. Fitz, get better fingers that don't drop things. Also, he literally says, you dropped this calling up. Like this woman that screams. What's your IQ? He's literally yelling. Like, come on. Look how fast they are. Guys. Look at that chick with a broom. Dude, she was literally sweeping and she went, underwear thief, I'm about to smack him. Dude, look at her run. Look at her run. She's so fast. Look how many of them have brooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 brooms. Yeah, that's bad luck. That's bad luck. Where did you come from? Did you Donkey Kong super leap across the map? What is the range of this ability? Or did you come from the skyscraper above? Look at this entrance, bro. WWE. You're not Superman. I'm playing, by the way. It's funny. I mean, this is a pretty lighthearted scene. I'm not trying to tear it. It's just funny. It's just funny. It is a bit like I don't know, coincidental, whatever. But I'll just let go of that. Fitz Giga Chad. Oh no, this is the wand. Didn't he give Fitz this wand? I gotta go back to season 1. I'm pretty sure he did, right? I'm just gonna believe it. Which makes it cute that she still has it, right? Because I think he gave it to her in the same way that, like, it was so sweet that he got a keepsake from Roxy, so he gave that to her. So it's like, aw. Wait, no, but then he should be able to recognize that. Frick! Okay, I'm going to season 1. Wait, where's my MT? Downloaded. Oh, wait, I have to go to my deep archive where I have season 1 saved. This is important enough. I want to see if he gave her the wand. So this would be episode probably 4. So yeah, let me open that. Okay. Dang, look how little Rudy was. Okay. Did you give... Also, like, Gilane's design. Gilane! Is this good for combat? I guess it's distracting. That's how I coped with it last time. I'll just cope again. Copium. Yummy, yummy. I love my copium. Oh, was it episode 5? No, wait. Does he ever give her that? Maybe I'm just... No. Ah, it's right there. It's right there. Yeah, he gave her that. He gave her that stick. The red wand. Hey, that's what I used for my thumbnail. Her putting her hair in her hands. Let's see, when did you do that? Was it the end of episode 3? No, I guess it was episode 4. Yeah. He must have given it to her, though, because we're literally seeing it all the way back then. It must have been in an earlier scene. But, point being, though, that Rudy... I know it's been a really long time, so I totally get why you wouldn't recognize it, but this is the same wand, right? It's got the red thing. I guess the cage fell off. Maybe she adapted it a bit. Because, look, the cage is on there. Cage is off there. It's got that same red gem. So maybe she only kept the gem and then upgraded the shaft. That could be a thing. It's definitely, I think, a tie back to Rudy, though. So that could be a way for Rudy to figure it out if Fitz decides to not tell him for some reason. But, yeah. Also, like, who would expect Fitz to just, or, like, Sylphie to just be a white-haired dude at your university? Like, I don't blame him for not realizing it at all. Gorilla lady, shut up. You're mean. I don't like you. Fitz, it's my boy. Let's go with you. A little bit of healing. He stayed impartial to my side. Big respect gained for Fitz. Super true. Man, wait, Fitz, it's kind of crazy. Who have you all told about your, like, you've kind of abandoned the Sylphie life, huh? You're fully Fitz now. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe it's like you don't want to open that can of worms again and be like, I am Sylphie. It's like that's a dead name. Is it a dead name to you, kind of? That could be interesting. I'm just curious why you're not telling him, you know? Because it could be as simple as like, oh, let me, like, it puts me in a position of power to have this information because then I can choose when to reveal it. And it kind of gets to the weird point of like, if I've known you for like a couple weeks and then I reveal it, then it's kind of weird that I kept it secret for so long. But then that only gets worse and worse and worse and worse, you know? So that's kind of a thing. What else? Yeah. Let me just keep watching the scene. Or yeah, like that she abandoned the Sylphie name in some sense, and it was like, you know, like Rudy's like a relic of the past that she's like not sure to how comfortable she is like opening that bottle back up. I could see that being a thing, but she seems somewhat comfortable with alluding to it, you know. It feels so strange hearing you thank me. I mean, that's alluding to how thankful she is of him, you know. Don't do your little stretch. No. Tell me information. No, I'm joking, Fitz. You chill. I'm good with you. I'm good. You little rat. You little rat. Rat endearingly. Rat parenthesis endearingly. Okay, OPED. OPED. Wait, this OP has been... Yeah, okay. Let's look at this OP. We got lyrics to do and we got actual background to do. So let's do a full... Let's just do a... I'll just pause it a lot and see what happens here. Okay, a curtain is opening. No, I'm joking. We're not going to start... We're 2 frames in, guys. Calm down. A curtain. Okay, is this a curtain or is this somebody's dress? That'd be kind of funny if it was... Because it could be like the drawing of a window, because windows are a huge metaphor, or like a huge motif. Or it could be like the golden goods beneath the dress or something, right? It's probably more of a window than anything else, right? Okay, opened bird cage. I mean, that reminds me of something I've heard with love before, of like, love is a bird, or love is letting go of a bird and it's coming back. Something like that, where like a necessary part of loving someone is accepting that they're an individual and that you don't have control over them, but for them to be a freed bird that still chooses to come back to you, that's where the trust and the intimacy comes in. Something like that. So I've heard that before. That applies really well to the bird metaphor, right? Fleeting, you know, fleeting, blah, 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 blah. This white woman, somebody in the comments said that this was like a representation of just the feminine, which I found interesting. It is kind of funny that, I mean, she's wearing the same dress that Eris was wearing in episode like 8, 9, whatever, where she was like told by Hilda to get with Rudy and Rudy was getting prepared by Philip to like get with Eris, you know? So it does look like that same kind of dress, in which case like that would make sense for Rudy if the dress that she's wearing, or his first experience with that level of intimacy, then like was a big part of like his thing now, or like if the first moment he has with intimacy with someone kind of laying down in a bed with that kind of dress then gets repeated here again, that I feel like that would make sense. Was she wearing this in episode 22? Let me actually pull that up. Bring. Hello. Okay. What were you wearing? No, you're wearing a black dress. Ooh, wait a second. The black dress versus the white dress. That's kind of crazy, like whoa! New layer just dropped. Where it's like in episode 9, she was wearing the white dress, innocent, pure, blah, 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 naive, whatever, young, you know, pure, naive, innocent would be like the big words there. But now she's wearing a black dress, you know, mourning, funeral, experienced, like not innocent, you know, experienced in the horrors of the world, you know, like completion of a character arc, you know, from white to black, blah, blah, blah. That could be an entire thing you could read into. That's kind of fun. Yeah, but in episode 9 or whatever, 8, yeah, she's wearing a white dress. It's kind of frilly, and then the purple the bow. Also, I still just can't believe that episode opened with, check out my puberty. Rudy, get that away from the camera. That's gross. I don't need that, man. So yeah, yeah, this is his first, it has the same bow around the waist. So yeah, that is how Eris was in episode 8, which would make sense for that being kind of his first experience with intimacy in that way became like a foundation of how he perceives intimacy. In that way, because that's what Eris wore. It also kind of, you know, bringing Eris into the formula brings in the whole, like, sexual trauma element where he's, like, messed up by that. All right. 3 feathers, Sylphie, Eris, Roxy. Spilled wine next to the bed. So now we're bringing up the whole, like, that's episode 20, end of season 1, so 22, right? So we haven't escaped that. The green, red, blue. It's interesting that they're feathers. We're not, like, well, we see them as birds in a little bit in the OP, right? So them being just the feathers now, I mean, the feathers are a reminder of what was there, what left, what's gone, right? Like I imagine Rudy walking up to this and seeing all that left, right? You could also see, like, the pure white of this feminine figure being, like, she's not colored any way because the thing he longs for, this feminine whatever, intimacy, and, like, ability to be vulnerable, blah, 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 that relationship, whatever, it's not colored in any way because the 3 colorings that he had ideas for, green for Sylphie, red for Eris, purple for Roxy, none of those have panned out, none of those have worked, especially with Eris. You know, we've actually had that gone wrong, whereas with Sylphie, Roxy just kind of never got to have, like, that never really became an option much because, you know, Rudy got sent away with Sylphie and then Roxy was just, it's been a long time. So her being uncolored could kind of be an example of how she's not any of these 3 colors, which would distinguish her from those, but let's just keep going. Spilled wine, pointing that out again. Eris, sexual trauma. Yeah, I think, well, let me go back. Is that the design of episode 8, or is that the design of 22 but made... No, I think it's the design of episode... Well, let me pull up 22 again. That's 8, okay. Episode 8, she has, like, the 2 sleeves. I don't need to see, a 13-year-old girl's thighs. 12, 11? Don't need it. Frilly shoulder. Okay, 22 now. Bing, 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 bing. She's got... Stop giving me flashbacks. I need to see what she looks like. Okay, not like that. Calm down, show. Different pattern. Shoulders, where instead of frilly both sides, it's just frilly, like, one way on the down, and it has this cross, like, at the cleavage spot. Let me go back. Does this have a cross at the cleavage spot? I'm trying to distinguish. Yeah, this one doesn't have a cross at the cleavage spot and got different frills. So let's see. This one, does it have either of those things? It's hard to tell. I mean, it looks more like 8 than 22 because it has that band and it's white. Let me just start over. It is also interesting that we open the window, or we draw this curtain, or we open the dress if we want to go full sexy sex mode, and this is the scene we enter. It's kind of funny. I mean, there's almost a metaphor you could make there of how, like, in the same way that you would draw the curtains to look outside, like, into the world at large, which is like episode 1 type stuff, right? Like him, like, learning to go outside with Roxy's help. So he would, like, look out the window, see the world beyond, and not be participating in it. Now it's he opens the window of sorts, and we see something that is like sexual intimacy as represented with, like, something that looks kind of like Eris, what Eris wore, but this idea of, like, this feminine thing with these characters that he's been sexually attracted to with their feathers, right? So it's like, once again, he's seeing something that he doesn't have access to, erectile dysfunction. Boom, right? Yeah, where it's like he couldn't go out, he was unable to go out into the world back in episode 1 with, like, the going outside thing, and now he's unable to go out into the world of, like, sexual intimacy because of erectile dysfunction. Bram, bram, bram. Continuing. Because of the trauma, because of the people that have left him, and so the something feminine. Where is this? Is this the labyrinth that... My guess would be this is the labyrinth that Zenith is in. It looks like an underground cave. I have freaking no idea. I'm literally doing a shot in the dark. I mean, there's magic glowing flowers in a magic circle. I assume that's a teleportation circle. It could have to do with that one chick. That, like, gets to skip homeroom class that we don't know her name yet. This seems like secret arcane nonsense, which she would be a part of. It almost looks like these walls have, like, special cave markings, but not really. I think it's just cave stuff. Yeah, we're probably just gonna go here eventually. I'm not really sure. The feminine. Oh, we see Rudy's hand here. Yeah, he's like reaching for. Oh, do you see how he's picking it up? He's got. Look at these. Look at that hand animation. He's going. Roogity roogity. He says, "Gimme, gimme." Look at his. Look at his little fingers. Roogity roogity. Yeah. I mean. Yeah. Flash to green. Flash to green's interesting. Because that's Sylphie color. And then we get this green shot. Oh, look, it's a different shoulder strap than either we've seen before. It's a different shoulder than the dress that Eris wore in 8 and in 22. So though it keeps the bow in the middle, which is kind of an Eris 8 thing, it's different. It's a different dress. So that connection's not 100%. Let's go back. What is going on here? So I assume this is just Sylphie. I mean, it's Sylphie coloring. Oh, wow, look at this. This plant. This plant in the vase. It's only seen in the vase, in the vase, in the cup, when the cloth goes in front of it. Huh, that's cool. What an interesting thing. I mean, what's the cloth represent here? I mean, I assume the cloth, since it's a white cloth, it's like a white window drape, that it's similar to the dress, right? The dress is white. So is this like a blossoming that can only be found in some sort of like closeness or intimacy as represented by the dress, which is seen through this like freaking window drape, whatever. Hence the plant? Or am I just coping? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like that a lot. That's really cool, like, imagery to have it fade in like that. Like, green coloring against Sylphie. To cut from her, this feminine figure, to green, makes me consider that this could be, like, that this character will be represented by Sylphie. That is so expected, though, that Rudy will somehow become sexually intimate with Sylphie. That's so expected that I do kind of wonder if they're not going to do it. If they'll just, like, counter it and say, like, no, that's actually not going to happen. Especially because Sylphie's a green feather, right? She's one of the 3 birds, and this isn't any of the 3 birds. So it could be, like, what if we get the ending where Rudy doesn't go down any of the routes from anybody? That would be pretty sick. Well, it's not going to be an ending. Rudy's just going to become Paul. F everyone. Let's go. Okay, let's continue. That's me trolling a little bit. I feel like I need to say that with this show. Okay. Reaching for the hand. The reaching for the hand is significant because that's what Eris and Rudy did in episode 22, right? They interlaced their hands, I think, and that was like a big scene. Also, hand holding is like very intimate, but also not inherently sexual. So, like, it can be very intimate, and it's not inherently sexual. Like, I think that's even like a closeness of body thing. So, I mean, that's significant in its own way. She's also, what, is she turning her head? How is she turning her head? Yeah, she's also, like, turning up to look at Rudy here as she's reaching for his hand. So specifically someone that when noticing him will look and meet his gaze and reach for him, right? As opposed to him just reaching for them. Like, it goes both ways. I think that's a necessary part of the formula. Her and this blue flowers under the cosmos. I'll read all the lyrics in another pass. I'll do another pass. Don't got much for that. Back to the hand holding, emphasizing it even more. And then she turns into a bird. Before we touch. It's elusive. I can't quite grab it. I can't quite reach it. You know? I think I need a drink of a drink. We are drinking a Dr. Pepper cream soda. Get yourself a drink. Get yourself a snack. You already know how it goes. You can get a sip. Hope you enjoyed. Making it someone else's fault again. Reaching for the hand, and then she turns to a bird herself. I find that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, that could show, like, the longing that he's starting to believe that it's something that he's not able to have, you know? This intimate, healthy, for lack of a better term, but, like, this intimate, feminine object. I don't like object because I don't want to make it about objects. This intimate connection to the feminine. Well, but it's not even to the feminine. It's because the feminine you can do internally. Because you can be masculine and feminine within yourself. You don't necessarily need to seek the feminine in someone else, right? I would say. So it's as simple as, or it would be like this relation with something you're attracted to. Or relation to this feminine person, let's say. Well, I keep saying feminine, but with the whole Fitz being a dude, what if he starts thinking he's bi now? That could be interesting. Because that's what the comments were saying, right? That it's the gay arc. So yeah, this connection. Let's just say connection. We don't need to overly define. So yeah, this connection he sees, and then when he is broaching it in a sexually intimate way, which is, you know, with the whole like her being on the bed thing in a way that's similar to like the Eris stuff. He reaches for her, but then elusive. She's a bird. She's gone. Well, no, but then we cut back to the hands. Whoa. But then it goes away. To red petals, red Eris. He held hands with Eris in 22. That went, then, you know, obviously Eris is gone now. So the person he felt connected to through the hand holding, gone with the wind. And that's probably why he considers it like to be a bird, to be something that is lost. He's just waiting for the bird to come back to its cage. But I don't even know if it's about being caged. Like, ooh. Maybe the cage represents, like, sexual degeneracy. Whoa, we're gonna read the subtext. We're about to go subtext diving. Because what if it's like, this would be cool, this would be cool. I'm just waiting for some stuff to drop on sexual, like, the elements of sexual degeneracy specifically, I would be really interested to see handled and tackled. Because that's something I feel like I want to see more of. Yeah. Like the parts of like I don't know, like him spying on the children and blah 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 and like molesting people, blah blah blah. Like that kind of behavior is the behavior I'm most interested on seeing commentary on, I suppose, when it comes to like the sexual elements. So like I'm just gonna use that, like keep that bias in mind. The cage in the very beginning. The cage. What if the cage was how he had the birds caged up because he saw them as property? This is my, like the three birds, right? Eris, Sylphie, Roxy. He had them as, these are my birds, you know? I view them as sexual things, and I enjoy, and that is enjoyable, and they are mine, they are within the cage. But then, in becoming intimate with Eris, he opened the cage and was saying, like, I'm going to be vulnerable in a way that you can deny me. You could run away from me. You could hurt me. I'm opening the cage, opening my boundaries. Boom, Eris leaves him, all the birds fly out of the cage. The question, I think, yeah, is to do the birds ever come back? Because that would be so powerful if the birds come back. I don't actually remember if they come back in this OP. Let's just rewatch up to that point. His little hand, bro. He says, gimme, gimme. But look, he reaches for a hand. He looks for connection, not for the sexy, sexy sex. Whoa, growth. That's my boy, Rudy. Hey. But also the sex is important because erectile dysfunction, like, he wants to make sure the member's functioning. So, fair enough. Gone, petals, red, Eris. Ooh, he's dreaming about it. This was him waking up. Wow, brutal. Okay, after everything that's happened is the line. That's pretty self-explanatory. Him being on this bed. It's a nice bed. What is that thing in the backdrop? Is he... Okay, so that's not another bed. Okay, that's just a windowsill? He has a super nice room. He's not like a royal bed. I mean, he is a royal. He's a noble. So I guess that makes sense. He's also in the, like, special program of the school. So totally makes sense there. This window in the back is open. But it's barred! Oh my god. Look, it's barred. That's cool. Wait, because it's like... The window's open, but it's not actually open. It's open, but I can't go outside. Like, because it's like we've opened the window, but we're still locked in. I can see outside, right? But there's a lattice in the way. That's crazy, you know? Like that, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory once you see it, right? Where it's like, you know, like to not be able to go outside but see the outside world was a problem in the early episodes with not being able to go outside. Like, you can look out the window all you want, but actually stepping through it is such a big deal. So the bars being like, you straight up can't step through it would be pretty crazy. Because that would show how, like, how he's been disrupted, how he's been hoed, basically. Like, the boundaries he's put up to protect his vulnerability that got messed up, right? Because of Eris. Hey, shout out to Eris for ruining Rudy's mental health. Hey! We stay winning. Okay, sorry. Just trolling. This is how I stay sane. This is what I meant by like the unimmersed button a little bit. Like I'm still taking, like, you know, I'm just trying to have more fun with it. which I think is good. I'm enjoying season 2 a lot. Season 2's been good. Okay, so we get up out of bed. Hey, good getting out of bed, right? Because previously you would just lay around in bed and lay around and be useless, right? So making the choice to get up, big if true, and is true, so huge. Okay. He's walking, city, bridge. The rolling bridge is an interesting thing. Not sure what that says. I just like the bridge. That's a cool bridge. Hey, shout out the bridge. I mean, look at it, right? It's instead of a bridge being like, it's like, broom, broom, broom. The up and downs of Rudy's life. How it's just peaks and valleys, but he never really goes anywhere. Whoa. Well, that's not even true. Never really goes anywhere. It doesn't work because it's a bridge. So you're going from A to B. Like, that's a bridge. But yeah. Bridge also being like something you could drop off of, right? If you wanted to. But there is a railing. But he could hop it. I don't know. We're really trying to read into the bridge there. Bird flies past. Blue bird. No. It's no, blue. Roxy, why are you here? He's like, oh dang. Roxy, magic school. Roxy's like his deepest connection with magic, right? Which he does love magic. He's a big magic guy. So for him going to the university to be like, dang, Roxy. Well, because that was part of it, right? What Man God was saying of like, don't you want Roxy to be proud of you? Like, proud of her student? You know, you don't want to be like stagnated. So like his desire to, I kind of like that one. This OP's pretty fire. I can see why y'all were popping about it. Yeah, I'm kind of here for it. Or it's like his drive to do right by Roxy, to make Roxy proud as her student, drives him to the magic school, so she's the bird that takes him there. As a new day dawns. This is just the squad with Soldat. The most base character in the show. I love Soldat so much, bro. For the amount of screen time he gets, he does so much work. This is just an action scene. I don't got much there. Then we go crazy here, where he's reflecting through his memories. The most recent ones are the ones back in that last town we were in. That's pretty, like, for these to be the first ones, I think makes sense, because we're going backwards in time, right? So he starts there. I mean, this is Sarah, because I see a bow and a hood, so I assume that's Sarah. It's kind of funny that Sarah's a little off camera, and instead it's his own hand doing the frickin' Evangelion reference, low-key, but with blood. Or no, not blood, it's he burned his hand from the fire spout, right? What's that stuff top left? I don't know what that is top left. Top right, it's just all their equipment being laid out. But yeah, it's his times back in that last village. Soldat, Timothy, what was her name? Suzanne. The thing on the ground there, I don't know. Windows again, huge window motif. Okay, now we're at the Magic University. Does this guy literally have the exact same color hair as Keisha Rika? Are you a son from a past incarnation that's grown up, or are you the husband that she's yapping about? You got iron bands on your hands, too. Iron bands on your hands. Okay. Astrolabe, pretty cool. This cat girl has massive honkers. Linnea, what's good with you? And then what's your name? Persina? Persina's just chowing, man. Freaking Linnea. Dominating Catwoman. That's crazy. Okay. What are these statues that Zenoba's making? Okay, we got Julius Caesar, Roxy gender bent, and then Rudius with no arms. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Who are these people? I mean, like, I could see Rudius being one of them. Maybe this one on the far left. That looks... No, but he doesn't have the hair thing. So no, none of these are Rudius. These are just statues I think he made that he likes. What's up, Slave Girl? Yeah, Zenoba's proud of them, though. Zenoba's a master crafter. And a master master crafter. Yeah, he's a master crafter. I like Zenova. Zenoba's growing me. I mean, I don't think he'll ever be like top tier for me, but I can appreciate it. I can appreciate a good Zenova scene, okay? I think he's growing on me. Maybe one day he'll be a top tier, okay? If he starts popping off and making moves, we'll talk. Slave Girl reaching for the light. This framing of the drawing, it looks like the drawing of curtains again, right? I mean, it's like a door opening, but it is kind of similar to the drawing of curtains from earlier. Her reaching for it. Maybe in the way that she's like literally trapped as a slave. That'll like figuratively line up with how Rudius is like mentally trapped in a lot of ways. Maybe that's kind of a big leap of faith there. But we'll just straight up see. Why are we gonna save some random slave girl? I don't know. I'm really interested to see how this comes into our attention, right? How is this random slave gonna become relevant? She doesn't look like anybody I know. Yeah. Yeah, I got no idea. It could just be that we somehow see it, but like maybe she was just like human trafficking, got captured, kidnapped, and like we figure it out and then we bust her out. Like it could be as simple as that, like a little mini quest. I don't know. But yeah, her reaching for her freedom. I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, I get that. Like that's pretty. It's a slave. I would expect that. This is homegirl that gets to do her private studies. Oh yeah, this shot was scary. I forgot about this. Lots of equations, making some sort of demon. How many sides are there to this? One. Well, there's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm kind of coping, trying to make it into 7. I only say 7 because it's like there's the top 7 strongest. Like so, 7 is a word we've seen, or like is a number we've seen before when it comes to like ranking gods, in terms of like fighting ability. And so, I'm looking for like a 7 here, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7 with the top 3 like are on this circle, but I'm literally coping. I don't know. Triangles are the strongest shape. Seeing some triangles. This kind of looks like a face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think her head's covering 6-sided thing. 6-sided, 6 sides to the world. It's a cube world. We know that much. So that could be like 6 could be an important number. It kind of is balanced in 6, right? This circle here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is covered up. 6 is well. Okay, that doesn't really work. I don't know. Feather imagery, it almost looks like, too. I would have just assumed she's doing some sort of crazy magicings. I'm excited to meet her some more. Rudy is walking up some stairs. Hugs. Eris in the bottom left. Eris bird chilling on the chandelier here. I can't really... I can't recognize you. Yeah, so hard. Some of these are so hard to see, man. Paul hugging him, the hug with Paul. Eris is just watching. Eris, why are you in my memory of recollections? It is kind of funny that he has his back turned to where Eris is. Eris the bird, you know, isn't something he's actively seeing, but it's something he's walking away from. Because she's down here and he's walking up and above. And Eris's, like, memory mirror is, like, the lowest at the bottom left. But I feel like that's kind of going a bit far. We'll see, though. Elena Lee's got her, like, elf thing, just like Sylphie. Cliff out here struggling in the dirt. Hey, Cliff, I like that. Yes, work in the dirt. Elena Lee's is gonna bang a bunch of, like, young adults. That's cool. Speak your truth, I guess. Hey, gotta fill up the sex curse somehow. But like I was saying earlier, bro, just get yourself a little boy toy, okay? And then just have him fix you whenever you're starting to get curse energy. Like, I feel like that's just easy, you know? And it's not like people would accept that life. There are people out there that be like, oh, I get to be Elena Lisa's pet? Sign me up. I know some of y'all out there would even agree to that. Don't even get me started. But and then if you want to quit, then she just gets someone new, you know? Like, I feel like that could be a OP strat, instead of just throwing yourself at random people. But I think she just enjoys throwing herself at random people. Because it's like, oh, I'm a noble adventurer, and I get defiled, or like, whatever. Like, speak your truth. Cliff, I like it. I like that determination in your eyes. I want to see you kind of get humbled, though. So that, but like, I kind of like it. I kind of like it, Cliff. Rudy is tangled up in like vines or something. Oh, this is him saving Sarah. Sarah's clothes were way more torn up in the actual scene. That's an inconsistency. Yeah, where's the bunch of the tear-ups? We need her clothes to be torn up for the plot, bro. But no, yeah, that's just him saving Sarah. Now we got the Room of Eyes. This is so cool imagery. Look, dragon eye, his own eye, one of the monster eyes, Orsted eye. This well is kind of like a circle, so it's kind of an eye. There's some writing at that desk in the bottom left. Can't make out what it says. We do pan down. No, that's not enough, though. I mean, it's in another language, but there's writing on that desk. So that's interesting. It looks like it's on the desk. Well, it could be a memory. I don't know. The dagger he tried to shank himself with. The tents with Eris in like the refugee camp kind of deal. What is that thing? Blood? I can't really make out what this is. I see like 2 eyes, but then I don't know what this stuff is, and I see a bunch of blood. The Room of Eyes, door. I mean, this is just like a recollection room, right? Window here. Eyes are the windows to the soul. Wow. Rudy, how do you feel about that? He's just in there as Sophie flies by. Drops 2 feathers. 2 is more than 1. Think about it. Okay. Can we see anything on the floorboards? No, this doesn't look like anything. This just looks like a bunch of marble. The amount of diamonds, I don't think that matters. It's just diamonds. Sophie flying within the school, past Ariel and Luke. You know, that's pretty self-explanatory. Back to this shot of what could be the drawing of curtains. Though it does kind of look like thighs or shorts or something, right? Like if I'm just trying to like look at it that way, where like these, and these, I think this is shadow, right? But like, you know, thigh, the golden gap between someone's legs or something. If we want to kind of like tie it into like a sexual metaphor, you know, you could try that if you wanted. He holds the green feather and follows her. So he follows the bird. The bird doesn't come back. He follows the bird. Maybe it's about a bird worth chasing, where they're a free spirit, right? And they're worth following where they go. They're worth the effort. That containing them would not be, like, the cage was opened, you know? And I would say that's him being vulnerable and not seeing them as sex objects, potentially. Maybe. But the cost of that is that they can go free, which means that if you truly want them, you'll have to follow them. Or they'll have to come back to you, but I don't think they do. Him stepping through the threshold, big with going outside metaphor again, him opening back up, lowering, like going through his like broken, his like messed up boundary, or like his boundaries with his vulnerability, you know? Is the bracelet, or is the necklace on him in the last shot? We'll see. Well, let's check. Necklace with the selfie thing, was it on it here? No, look at that. He gains the selfie necklace after Sophie flies by. Nightmare, it's like, it's almost shot for shot. Right? It's like, oh, but look, he's smiling now. He's contented. That's sweet. Yeah, he's like upset that he's lost Eris, that's hurt him and whatnot, but being able to go after Selphie, who's flying free, like following her trail, someone that he feels like that he's willing to open back up to, go through the threshold for, that is something that he's happy with, right? He gets this smile. It's like, dang, she kind of my girl / boy. We'll see. And then he's wearing the charm to like even push that point further. That's like does tie back to Selphie, and that like person that he's comfortable with. And then it goes back to the bird. Loses 3 feathers. Eris, Rudy, Selphie, Roxy. You know, there were like the 3 of them, so 3 is kind of an interesting number of feathers to lose. But then a lot more. Well, no, that's like a star trail. That's not feathers. The feminine. Let's do another pass with lyrics. And then I forgot what type of... I think I coped... Well, let me look up what a forget-me-not looks like on my phone real quick. My phone's at 16%. Holy crap. Forget-me-not flower. Okay, no. Forget-me-nots are blue. I'm actually cope. Okay. What the kind of flower is this? Where's my botanists? Well, these could be blue, but under white moonlight. That's cope. I don't know what kind of flower that is. I'm no botanist. Dang, you know what's crazy though? He looks, look at this one. The bird flies into the heavens, and he's like, with Selphie around his neck, he's like, this is, you know, I'm feeling okay about this. Like, maybe this is like, you know, he's feeling happy, he's feeling good. But he looks up, he enjoys the view, and then he looks back to the city. Who are you looking to? Are you looking to Fitz / Selphie? Are you looking to the world at large, that you're now more comfortable within it? Your studies? Your pursuits? Your goals? What are you looking to, man? Okay, that's that. Let's do another pass with the OP. Though, you know what? I'm gonna go use the bathroom first. Then we get to do another pass of the OP. So, be right back. Okay, we're back. Now we get to do a pass of the OP again, but now we're gonna focus on the lyrics more than anything else. Okay, let's get this going. Let's go. And then we have the ED, and then we have the ED, and then we have the episode, and then we have the episode. Okay, I'll calm down. What's up, feminine? Looking away, too. She's looking away. It's funny that she's looking away, like, from the the cage, looking away from the spilled wine. You know, we know what those represent or could represent. Especially with the cage, like with the could part, right? She's looking somewhere else. Where are you looking? Where are you looking? To the unknown? To the future? What's over here? What's this darkness? I mean, we see like the drapes kind of here, but this area looks like kind of separate from the drapes. So she's looking somewhere else, and then Rudy comes in from this angle, and then she looks up to him, right? The map I drawn out is in pieces. The path that I attempted, the plans I made is in pieces. The plans I had fell apart kind of deal, I would assume. The world's no different from how it was back then. Feeling mad that like we didn't change much, like lamenting your lack of change. No, Rudy, you've changed quite a bit. You're kind of popping, bro. I mean, you used to not have erectile dysfunction. That's not good change. I mean, and that's not even like that's like separate, but that's change, Rudy. No. But yeah, I get what he's saying. And I'm making it someone else's fault again. I like him saying that because that's like him trying to take responsibility, saying like I'm making it other people's fault, therefore I should make like it's really my fault, right? Though you don't want to take fault for things that it's not your fault, because like something like Eris abandoning you, well, she made the choice to leave, right? It's somewhat like there is a degree of like forming this connection, like being willing to form this connection with the sex was like kind of asking to get knocked down a bit, but that doesn't mean it's your fault at all, right? Like I wouldn't want him to say like she left me because I sucked, because it's not the case and he'd just be guessing, you know? So I wouldn't want him to internalize it in that way, but accepting your own role in what happened I think is really important, really valuable. Yeah. Or like with the Sarah thing, you know, like it's not like your fault that you can't get it up. That's just, you know, it could be performance anxiety or it could be like deep-rooted sexual trauma. You know? I do like the line of thought though, as long as it doesn't like it can go bad places, but I like the line. It's getting wearisome. That you're making it your fault again? And I'm making it someone else's fault again is wearisome. Or it's wearisome in general, that there's this much crap going on and that things keep falling apart. Sure, yeah, I mean, that's life. Especially in this world where, like, the Turning Point 3 is calling, pick up the phone, Rudy. You know, like, stones get thrown at Rudy all the time. Panties fall from the sky just, you know, to hoe him. Like, that's his life, man. After everything that's happened. Can I really go back to just pretending to wait for a miracle? Just pretending to wait for a miracle. I mean, that's like the, you know, am I making it other people's fault again? Is like what he just said earlier, right? So, I mean, that's kind of the same thing of like, I'm blaming other people and can I really just go back to waiting for somebody else to fix me, right? For a miracle to fall into my lap as opposed to picking up the pieces myself. So it is kind of like, let's make it about, like, let's take my own responsibility for this kind of deal. What happened to those days? Oh, and then we go back to the soldat. Though, interesting, let's just see what the next one. When I felt like I could achieve whatever I put my mind to. Yeah, I mean, I felt like I could achieve whatever I put my mind to. I mean, he's been able to do that pretty successfully with, like, magic and, like, adventuring in general, right? Never perfect, of course, right? But, I mean, the man's cracked when it comes to magic. Like, if, like, the goal was, let's kill this dragon with me and Soldat and the squad. What did he do? He achieved what he put his mind to. He killed the dragon, right? And, like, choosing to help counter Arrow and, like, saving them all was, like, achieving something. But more with the put my mind to, like, is, like, that dedication aspect, which isn't really in those instances as much as, like, getting Eris home and training his own magic with, like, the entire beginning of season 1, you know? So, I mean, like, losing that confidence, lost that self-confidence that he had built up. And when I say built up, he had to build that up, right? The start of season 1 was him like, all right, this is my chance. Let me go. Let me make some moves, like make some stuff happen. And that's him building his confidence up, like through his magic and all that stuff. But then stones get thrown in his world, turning point, boom, boom, pain, pain. And that keeps falling apart, right? His Jenga towers keep collapsing. That's just part of growing up, question mark? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It kind of is. Life just kind of owes you sometimes. Not always. I mean, a lot of the time it's just bad RNG, especially for you. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. Oh, okay. Rudy said I'm not talking about that. All right, what are you talking about, Rudy? There was a different future that could have been. Ooh, regret. Like I was at fault back then. Is it regret? Well, let's see. Ooh, wait, if only I had mustered a bit more courage. So yeah, it's blaming yourself for your actions of your past regret, right? Crazy that it's Eris here. A different future that could have been, and it's Eris's bird flying away, not towards him or where... Well, I guess it's going up, so it is like, you know, where the direction he's going, but not that he's aware of it, right? So it's like, he could have had a future with Eris, but he didn't. What about these prisms? Are these prismatic devices important? I don't know. Quartz. If only I had mustered a bit more courage. Yeah, true. Lena Lees is an interesting character to throw here. It's just so crazy that she is like such... she is such a character that's like erotica main character just to make a bunch of like sexy sex scenes because that's the point of erotica. Like she like screams that in so many ways. So it's like, oh, we're gonna actually like... We're gonna try to like do some crazy things with her, like fix the sex curse, dive into that. Like, are we gonna do that? I mean, we could, and that'd be interesting. I mean, I haven't really seen that before. I mean, there are so many stories about like someone getting corrupted into the world, like into sex, blah blah blah, and like the whole mind break nonsense, like, bleh. But like that whole thing, corruption, blah blah blah. Like I've seen that a million times, I guess. Whoa, self-report. I'm aware of that. Let's say that. Whoa. Okay, now let me calm down. Hey, calm yourself. But to see somebody that like is super in like deep into sex, like maybe get cured of it and maybe like get out of in a sense would be really interesting. If that at all is what they're trying to do. I don't even know what they're trying to do with Elena Lees. I'm surprised she's still around, honestly. But yeah. Yeah, I've seen a million stories about girls getting mind broken. Okay, calm down. We're trolling. Okay. I just stopped reading. Go back. If only I had mistered a bit more courage. Okay. But I didn't realize that until it was too late. Yeah, regret hurts. Regret hurts. Regret sucks. You just gotta live going forward, you know? Can't be trapped in the past, man. I'm sick and tired of feeling that way. Then let's change, bro. You got the power. Rudy. I believe. Believers in. Follow Sylphie. Nothing lasts forever. Ouch. In context, that one stings. That one stings in context. So before the end came, I decided to take a step forward. Good line! I like that line a lot. Nothing lasts forever, so let me take a step forward. So let me change. So let me make my moves. Thank you, Rudy. I'm telling you, season 2's been smacking for me. I've been liking. Season 2 has been on the upswing. It helps that he's older now, so it's so much more digestible for the sexual elements. That helps a lot. You know. But yeah, so I've liked season 2 quite a bit. Accepting what has happened and praying for what's to come. That's the goal. Take a step forward, accept what's happened, pray for what's to come. Boom! Reconcile the past, prepare for the future, pop off. Pop off in the present. Whoa. So what's that feminine spirit? Is it like is it the ambiguous opportunity to have that connection again that he's choosing to believe in? That he's like, it went wrong once, but that doesn't mean it has to go wrong again. And I don't know who it will be. I don't know if it'll be any of the 3 birds that I've known, or if it'll be a new bird entirely, right? Because all of them are like, even the white figure, the feminine figure turns into a bird. So it's like, maybe even, it could be like any of the, you know, like, it could be a new bird entirely, right, is my point. Or it could maybe, like, is it still on the table for it to be one of the 3? Probably yes for him, because he holds Sylphie's feather and then moves forward. He's probably not thinking, like, I'm gonna do this because I'm looking for Sylphie specifically. But, like, I think it's maybe, like, the dream of, like, there are other times this has happened, right? I had a connection. It wasn't, like, sexually intimate, but I had a connection with Sylphie, with somebody else. And, I mean, now with Fitz, I mean, even The what? The white figure or the feminine figure? It's Fitz. Solves. Fitz has white hair. No. I think it's more of an ambiguous, like anyone. Hope for a future, right? Hope for a future connection as opposed to a connection with a specific individual. Though, could it still be one of those individuals? Probably. I don't think he would shut that out. Maybe with Eris. That would be a lot. That'd be a lot to tangle through. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Because yeah, I mean, it's interesting. As much as it's showing like that he's, it has such a focus on. I mean, we go back to the green at the end. Well, no. We get the green feather, and then he has the Sylphie stone. So it's like those are his like. I think what's resolving him, what's strengthening him, but he is still looking up to the white bird. So I think it's like anybody else. Like it could be, it almost is saying like these experiences that he's had is what he's having to accept what's happened. And then I think in the case of Sylphie is, you know, he's wearing the necklace at the end, is strengthening for what's to come, who in the future he can connect with, right? Even if it's none of the three. New character ending. Roxy ending, Sylphie ending. I'm sick of the Eris ending. New character. Any of the three. Ambiguous feminine. The ambiguous femininity. Bog. ED time. Oh my, we still have an ED to do. Is there any to scroll through? Let's just bing, 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 bing. Done. ED time. Give me to the content. Okay. Renoa University Med. Oh, this one was more chill. Thank goodness. I just want to watch the next episode, man. I'm just excited to watch the next episode. Okay. Fitz. Rudy, in a library, dreamlike, right? With this like, I feel like this glow is very kind of dreamy. You know, if you were to catch a glimpse of me, let me get this book for you, Sylphie, because you're so short. I mean, Fitz, my fault. There you go, Fitzy Fitz. We're gonna study the Mana Cataclysm together because Man God Wingman. If you were to catch a glimpse of me. With my cheeks colored by old memories. Very sweet. Huge cut to like back then. Aww. Childhood nostalgia. Ooh. Nostalgia is such a good word for this. The way this looks too. With this like very bright glow. Where like the edges are kind of undefined. Because of everything has like a kind of glow to it. It's a little smudgy. You know. They kind of have like. You know. It's watercolor. It's very watercolor. Maybe it's just me. But I do kind of associate this look with like nostalgia a lot. Like look how faded it is up here in the trees. You know. It's a little foggy. It's a little unclear. It gets faded at the edges. But the thing that, like, it's like, in watercolor is inherently, like, can be a little, like, almost muddy, you know? It's not like a hyper detail, right? So that kind of fits in with memories pretty well. Aww. Then maybe I could convey to you the feelings. The feelings that I love you. We're sitting in the chair. Fitz got her feet pointed right at Rudy. That means she's into him. Body language cue, body language cue. Oh, we already knew that. Okay. He's got his feet straight ahead. His feet are pointing towards the books because he's on the grind set. Good Rudy's move. Go back. Yeah, they're just like talking. This one has a lot less like metaphorical imagery, it looks like. Book in his hands. What's this like purple? Is this part of his pants? I'm looking at their hair. Elf ears. Imagine if you just snipped it off. I am so sorry. That would hurt so bad. Oh my goodness. Elves. New reason that being an elf would suck. Someone's fighting you. They swing a sword at you and they cut your ear off because it's just sticking out like that. Ouch. Cool character design though to have an elf with the ear chopped off. I've seen a couple of those in my time. Then maybe I could convey to you the feelings that I've been hiding all this time. Literally Fitz thinking about Rudy. Aw, this is Fitz thinking about Rudy. That's what that's who's narrating the ED. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? What I've been hiding all along, everything's, you know, coated in nostalgia and whatnot. It's funny, though. You have all this connection to Rudy because of all this nostalgia. Rudy don't know none of that. Rudy don't got none of that connection. So, like, you're looking at him with different lens than he's looking at you. You're looking over and he's got, like, Shinobu by his side and everything. This little slave girl. I thought I had thrown away my old cowardly self. Look, it's even Zenoba drip. Why does he look this good? Look at this crazy cape. Oh my goodness, Zenoba, I'm hiring you as my, like, a legal attorney. Like, represent me. Dang, Zenoba, I like the cloak. Dang, the bowl cuts, you know. Yeah, we can work with it. You got the most drip out of anybody here. Lilia, you're literally just trying to art. Oh, I gotta get my notes back up. I put my thing in my phone. Bing, bada, bing, bada, bing. What, your name's Linnea. Linnea, you're just schoolgirling it. Zenoba's like, dude, I love, Zenova stalks climbing. Oh, no, Slave Girl has a cute little outfit now. She's looking up at Rudy. Rudy's the one that saves her. Look at her looking up to Rudy. She ain't looking up to Zenova. She ain't looking up to Linnea. No, she's looking up to Rudy. Okay, I thought I had thrown away my old cowardly self. Run it back. Did I miss a line? Oh, you're feeling all cowardly again, Fitz. You're feeling all nervous again, just like back then with Rudy. It's like old dogs don't lay sleeping forever. All right? The past can sometimes come back, especially when you got a living embodiment of it, aka Rudius. AKA the gray rat. But whenever whenever you're before me, whenever I see you, oh, I get pensive. I look away. Why are you leaving? Come back. I feel all the same things I felt that day. She got to parse through her own feelings. She's parsing through her own feelings right now. Looking at these like magic petal crystals. Thinking of writing something perhaps. You're going to write him a little love letter. Anonymous Fitz love letter. That'd be cute. Glyphs on the walls, but like nothing legible to my eyes. I feel all the same things I felt that day. Yeah, like childhood crush type stuff, right? I felt that day. Which day? I mean, just before the Mana Cataclysm. Well, I don't know. We didn't get to see too much of you before the Mana Cataclysm, but after Rudy left. Like, you were chilling with the family. That day, there's a lot of days that day could correspond to. Like, the day you lost Rudy, you weren't even really around for that. Rudy just got kidnapped. I mean, you were probably just told, like, yeah, he's gone, but you can still hang out with us. And she was like, that sucks, you know? So it could be that. But, like, feel the same things I felt that day. Maybe that's more so just her past self that she's, like, trying to, like, escape from or something. This is classic she's in her feelings, bro. You don't put your... What hand is that? Your left hand up to your heart and your right hand? She's infantilizing, bro. She's gonna suck her thumb. Just a little bit. It's, like, kind of fetal imagery, right? Yeah, let me actually say it out. It's like, more fetal imagery, you know? She's kind of curled up, fetal, you know, a little bit like... kind of deal. I should not have done that on camera. But, yeah. This is in your feelings. This is in your feelings, though. One of... Longing, bro. This is me longing right now. What am I longing for? Good question. I feel all the same things I felt that day. Okay. Sure. Oh, you can't fall asleep. This is taking your sleep up. And I realize I've been waiting here unchanged the whole time. Unchanged the whole time. I didn't change from who I thought I was. This flower that's the same flower from the Rudius stuff. Oh, is it right? Was that, did we ever see them like picking flowers or something at season 1? Maybe that flower was in season 1. I'll pull that up in a minute. And realize I've been waiting here unchanged the whole time. Yeah, I mean, sleeping dogs don't lie, right? Like my past self, I thought I kind of got past that, but it looks like I haven't, especially when it comes to you. Rudius Gray Rat. Kind of deal. It's almost like she's playing the petal game of like, he loves me not. A little bit. I mean, she isn't plucking them, but she's holding a flower. Which, okay, well, then it's just like flowers, like romance, right? Like I have a flower, I'm going to give it to you. That's like cute to do, you know? And realize I've been waiting here on change the whole time. Book. They're studying together. The book probably has to do with them studying together. The petals blow in. The petals are the past. And then the dots finally connect. This is a great shot. Look at that. Whoa! That's such a good shot. I love the blur around her because it's like the memories, the old, you know, blah, blah, blah. When the dots finally connect, let me rest in your embrace. It's pretty, dots connect. Why are you waiting for him to connect the dots? Because you think that'll be like affirming or something? Or like you want him to like fall in love with the current you and not the past, and not like rely on the past you to double, like prove to yourself that you have value or something? I don't know. Let's see. Put your arms around this emptiness I can't fill. You gotta call out to him. Oh, you do. He turns to look and he's like, huh? Yep, my name's Rudius Gray Rat. What do you want, Fitz? And she's like, oh. What was that line? Put your arms around this emptiness I can't fill. Whoa, my video is playing. Stop that. Okay, I think it stopped. Wait. Oh my goodness, one of my video... Stop? Okay, I stopped it, sorry. Put your arms around this emptiness I can't fill. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, I think, right? Even if we have to learn how to love step by step. Yeah, she got notes. Well, she's got a tiny bit of experience with the Princess Ariel. Love triangle risk, right? Love triangle risk. We're in a school arc, all right? Love triangles are, like, just basically guaranteed. Though, her, Ariel, and Rudy with, like, you know... But that's only if she ever actually, like, ponies up and, like, tells Rudy that she's Fitz. Or that she's Sophie. Promise that could be your warmth. We'll just see. We'll just see if she actually does it. Okay, let me pull up... What's this little after thing? Is this... Oh, I'm about to watch that. Okay. I'm going to pull up real quick. We're about to jump into it, I promise. Episode, like, 3 area. I want to see if those flowers, those white flowers, are at all prevalent. Oh, look, they're doing flower stuff. He's a botanist. Rudy's a botanist. He was, like, looking at a flower book. He was, like, cataloging different flowers. Then he saves Sylphie. Do they look at flowers together? Maybe that's, like, a part of, like, something they do. He's teaching her magic. Running through grain. It's wet. Let me strip her real quick. Thanks for that, Rudy. He thought she was a dude. I remember all that. Nothing too much there. 4. Oh yeah, Paul's like, I'm so sorry that I just did that to you, Zenith, and she's like, oh my god, because the Lilia thing. Come on, no, give me back to Sophie. The little wand, the hug, the grooming thing where he's got a grown-up Sylphie. Oh Rudy, Pax molesting Roxy. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not seeing those flowers anywhere. I'm really not. Ghislaine, what's good with you? And then welcome to Eris Land. Then we go to Eris Land. Okay, yeah. All right, well, there's somewhat a connection with the flowers being a focus just because Rudy was doing, like, botany stuff with a book, right? Look, he's looking at fungus. He's looking at all these different ones, but I'm not seeing that specific flower, nor do I really think that that connects to Sylphie. Yeah. But it is something, like, there's maybe a little bit of a connection there. Maybe it's more of a light novel connection, though. Like, some specific scene was cut or something. Who's to say? Let's jump into the new one. Let's jump into episode 6. Yeah, let's get it going. I have been yapping for far too long. Get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack. Got the Dr. Pepper Cream Soda, you already know. As I said earlier. But, episode 6, get it queued up. Use the timer if you wish, or the pip if you wish. I'm very excited to see where this arc goes. Got my notes ready. Got my Ritz crackers in case I'm feeling snacky. And yeah, let's jump into this in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! A bird! OP imagery. Okay, I'm joking. Let's calm down. Bird. Hey. Hey, he's going on a little morning jog. Good training. Yeah. Before the sun rises. What an early worker. What a hard worker. Who is that? Fitz? Fitz, why do you look like a paper newsboy? Was that Fitz? Fitz, why do you look like a newsie? Never wear that again. I'm joking. Alright. Dang, it's not going well. He's not as good at... Because he's not making waifus. He's not making the girls, so he's struggling with that. He lost his creative flow. Oh, okay, sick. Good. Elena Lees is grabbing people's cronkers in public. That child, per kid, looks that they look comfortable with that. Okay. Barrier magic. That person's just asleep, bro. Wake up. Forbidden to teach beyond beginner? Is that what that said? Oh, apparently taboo. Yeah. That looks teleporter labyrinth. That thing on the book looks kind of like the OP where the girl is like got the crazy map. That looks kind of similar. Interesting. Ooh, samurai. Oh, you're talking about your Kronker. Got you. Okay. A nice little update of the Rudy situation. So the teleporter, we're probably going to teleport there, because teleportation magic's really important because of the mana cataclysm. I teleported everyone, right? And it's kind of taboo is interesting. So I think that girl is studying teleportation magic that we're going to see here in a moment. Because she's researching the mana cataclysm. She and Rudy are going to connect over that because that's where he'll be led to her through studying teleportation stuff. I don't know. They'll probably reach for the same book, make it a classic like library, like oh, and their hands briefly touch. I don't know. That's a bit like school. I don't know. That's just like school. What's it called? Like things that usually happen in a school show. I feel like. I'm forgetting the word. Word slipped my mind. But yeah, like this looks like a crazy version of the teleportation thing on that book. So I would guess it's a teleportation sigil. That probably is a sketch of the demon one, or Laplace's one, right? With that whole thing, the mana cataclysm. So interesting. Big thing for Rudy to connect to. Thighs, or a window. Probably a window, but it kind of works. Kind of fun. Got the selfie charm. Feeling good. Wow, the bird does fly out of reach, though. That's kind of crazy in its own way. No. Warmed this seat for you? What does that mean? Oh, you were sitting in it. You're moving. Okay, got you. Okay. Focus. You're so a troll. I'm gonna lose it. Yeah. Do you feel like embarrassed that like you didn't go looking for him, and so that makes you feel like you don't want to reveal yourself because you'll look like a bad friend? I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Okay, dude. Yeah, he flushed. He like, dang, wait. Why did that feel kind of good, though? Trends in where people came up? Wow, okay. He's feeling it. Hey, he's feeling it a little bit. Wait, so are there trends where people ended up based on the teleportation? Interesting. How much can you intend to do something in teleportation? We need to study these. Thank you. Thank you for studying these. Even if it was just because Mangod said it would cure your ED, but like, I still appreciate it. It was also for other purposes, right? Let's not be reductive, but yeah. Yeah, we knew that. She was literally dropped the panties in the girls' street. Yeah. Held the book a bit tighter to her chest. And slaves? Yeah. Fleshed emoji. Oh, please walk on those. That looks so fun to walk on. No, no, don't walk on the... Yes, Rudy, walk on the fun bridge. Hey, real one, Rudy. My master rescued me. This is so goofy. Yeah. Yeah, Fitz. Why won't it work? You want to explain? Oh, it's a secret. It's a secret. Yeah, you little rat. You're such a rat. Oh, oh. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm sure I don't swing that way. Rudy's being awakened, bro. Rudy's into it. Hey, hey. Totally respectable. You're gonna get a crazy twist down the line, but hey. True. It's a shame he's lost some of his creative, like... He's lost some of his, like, splendor, you know? Oh, no. Well, that's pretty good. Let's just see. Yeah! Zenoba, get off of her! I'm prepared to give you everything. Bro, Zenoba, dude. I know you can, Rudy. That's just wild to me. I know, you didn't have to tell me that, bro. How many jars you got in your room? Like, please, like, okay. Yeah, couldn't find my inspiration is the key. Like, underline that. Which makes a lot of sense given everything going on, right? I'm not at all surprised. Wow, through the entire night we've been sculpting? What's going on? Oh, good morning, Zenoba. Welcome back. Rudy, what are we training here? I don't see any magic happening. You had a... Whoa, okay. Okay. He was trying to teach him to use earth magic. What did you say? What? You're just conjuring that out of the air? Oh, what is that? That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. It's gonna be hard, Zeno. Oh, especially with how strong you are. We talked about it a little bit previously, right? How his, like, hyper strength makes it, like, something as small and fragile as a figurine, like, kind of a funny distinction. Yeah, exactly, right? I think that makes sense, like, why he would be so entranced with something so tiny and delicate when he always has such heavy hands, you know? It's it's a crazy like contradiction, you know? Dang, he's cracked. You do it, Fitz. Nice, nice. It's just like Blender. It's just like Blender. No, you got it. Oh, yeah. A blessed? Oh, no, no, okay. Are we gonna buy a slave? Wait. Not buy. Are we gonna free a slave? I'm gonna check with Zenoba and visit the slave market during break next month. I hope you find a good one. Huh. We're gonna just buy, like, an art slave? Is the little girl gonna be an art slave? You wanna come to the slave shop with me? Hey, let's go pick out some slaves. That's not a good date. I don't know a date. Whoa. Good call. Hey, good social. Good social, Rudy. Yeah, good social. He picked it up. Good social. Wait, Rudy, are we good with just buying slaves? I feel like that's kind of a... are you comfortable with just buying a slave? We'll see. Good. Dude, he need him. I think he need him to make him bow. That's so funny. There we go. Hey! Thank you, Zenova. Linnea? Nope, no Linnea. Okay, it's just the three of us. Squad roll out. What is this slave market about to be like? What are they... Ooh, look at that mana crystal. Oh, there's a lot of them. Oh, yeah, little manacles. This is some cheery music for slave buying. Huh. I've never bought a slave before, so let's start by browsing. She looks so sad. Are you rich? Save her. Okay, she has very large honkers. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wait, his voice there was really crazy. I like that voice acting a lot. He sounded so unsure, like... Dang! See if he wants to know. Little dwarf slave. Let me go buy a child dwarf slave. That makes sense. I mean, that's what happened with her. Yeah, that's what happened with both of them. That's only if you're bad. Skill issue. Yeah, Sophie's correct. Yeah, exactly. Having that past life experience gave him such a buff. Are you just... I mean, it's crazy. Because we've dealt with human traffickers before. 6-year-old dwarf girl. Okay, that's the girl from the OP. Oh my goodness. That's so sad. Yeah, feeding her will help. Yeah, okay. I mean, you're right, but that's just funny. Ah, oh, that's so funny. Yeah, she's got malnutrition. You can give her some, like, food, though. That'll help. Like, okay, dude. Thanks for that. That's good advice. Yeah, this place sucks. They're in cages, bro. I mean, I guess that's what you would do for them. Rudy, wait, okay. We dealt with slave human traffickers. That was Gallius Cleaver, bro. And we hated that guy. And we, like, I guess we're just kind of fine with it. Yeah, let's go with you. Hello, slave child. Yeah, you're gonna be all mean to her? You're choking her. Stop. Look at Fitz being naturally respectful. Thank you, Fitz. Show some good showing of kindness. Good Fitz, bro. This guy sucks at selling things. I can't recommend her? Bro, be a good car salesman and recommend everything. Dang. Dang. What the fuck? What do you mean you're reaching for something to like smack her? No, it's bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's looked in a mirror before. Yeah. Often a long time ago. That hits hard. Yeah. Oh my god. What? Wait. Sure, I could buy her and give her a job. What the No, don't... Wait, what? Rudy, no. The 6-year-old, I don't think can consent to suicide like that. Like, to assisted suicide? That's kind of a crazy thing to do. I guess you're projecting super hard, but like, what is going on? Or are you just kind of... Okay. Okay, let's just see. Let's just see. I don't want to die. There we go. That's what we like to hear. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. Real. Real. So real. Very, very true. Wow, so that's how she enters the party. Huh. Oh, we gave her a bib. She has a bib, or kind of. She's like getting crap all over her dress. Look at that. Oh, she does have a bib. She has a bib. Slave. Whoa. Bazaar of the Holy Steel. Natalia of the Beautiful. Yeah, what does this mean, man? Oh, wow. That's cool. That's cool, world building. Oh my goodness. This is wild. What should we... My poor baby brother, whom I killed because I didn't know my own strength. Juliet. Okay. Alright, Juliet. Welcome aboard. Or Julie? Julie! Hey! Base 6-year-old says, no, my name's Julie. Wait, we'll see. Maybe it's Juliet still. I don't know. If she made it Julie, that'd be pretty funny. I'd like that quite a bit. Wait, I said Julie! Yeah, Julie. Let me just... Well, I don't know. This is kind of weird. I guess he's taking care of her, so I mean, it's pretty good, but... Is that the end? Wait, it was that fast. Oh, I Don't Want to Die was the name of the episode. That's what she said. Wow, that was fast. Holy crap. Huh. Hey, 6-year-old slave girl, do you want to die? I can kill you right now if you want. I mean, if she says yes, you're just going to buy her to kill her? Like, you're just going to execute her, you know? Like, you're going to assisted suicide a 6-year-old? I don't feel like we could do that, Rudius. I don't. I feel like that's kind of crazy, dog. I think it's just. I mean, he's projecting so much, and I think he's kind of like forcing like. I don't know how serious was he? Because like it could be. I'm just gonna take that off. It could be that like he was like trying to like in a way force her to admit that she does want to. I mean, he was just testing, I guess. He was like testing the waters, what she actually felt. But if she said like, "Yeah, I want to die. I'm a 6-year-old and I want to die," would he have actually done it? I mean, he might have. He probably would have just. Would he have left her or would he have killed her? I mean, he literally put his finger up to her neck. But is that more so to like show her that he can, to make it real for her, so that she truly admits what she feels, or is that him honestly being like, "Yeah, I could," or like a mix of both, you know? Huh. Yeah, I mean, if he had, that's just. I don't think that that's a good idea. To like be like, "Yo, 6-year-old, like I will accept your consent to be killed." Like, no, I don't think they can consent to that, man. Like, they're 6. And saying like, I can't give her salvation. I can't save her by forcing her to do something against her will. I can't save her by forcing her to do something against her will. I just have no experience with like a 6-year-old that is in this much agony to even know if this is remotely true or not, you know? Like in this horrible condition. Because I feel like if you're that young and impressionable, that you could save her by forcing her to do something against her will. Because like, you know, I mean, she's 6. You can, like, I feel like she's still so impressionable at that age that, like, it's not like, yeah, that I would just take her at face value and be like, well, she said she wants to die, so let's just kill her, you know? Or like, well, she's a lost cause. Like, no, she's 6. Like, we can still fix her, you know? I mean, the first 6 years are a lot to fix. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, a huge amount of trauma to, like, deal with there. But that is so wild to me. Man. Wow, that was so weird. Because it's, wow, I don't know how I feel about that one. Huh. Very peculiar, because it's like originally he's like, yeah, let's go buy a slave. And he seems like so comfortable with the idea. And it's like, okay, that's kind of, I was like, huh, that's interesting. That he's just like, oh yeah, like okay. And I was like, huh, okay, like, little odd that you're just like that good with slavery. But, you know, it's, I guess it's super normalized in this world. So I can kind of see like I was like kind of weird. Let's just see how he interacts with them, because that'll really tell us what happens here. Like that'll really tell us like how Rudius like it deals with this thing in the world, right? But like so he goes and he tells the slave that he's willing to kill him if they're truly in despair when they're 6, which I think is just kind of insane. Whereas, like, they're so young that it's not like if they say yes, you just kill them. Like, no, like, they can still live a fruitful life if they're given the opportunity to. It's just a question of, do you care, like, do you want to be, like, it would be a huge amount of, like, you would have to do a ton of work to, like, help them, but they are so helpable because they're so young and impressionable, right? Yeah, this is so peculiar to me. Oh my goodness. And then, like, this random slave is just massive honkers staring straight ahead. It's funny that dude, Fitz is staring right at this guy's cronker. Fitz is getting a full eyeful and is like, dang, I didn't know they were this big. Wait, is that what you said? And so big, I didn't know they got like that. She's looking at his cronker, dude. She's admiring Cronker's size and being like, I didn't know Cronker's got that big. Which is, Rudius is gonna realize, wait, is Fitz gay too? That's what he's gonna think. Because Fitz is looking at the dude. Yeah, it's funny. And it is funny, though, that they say, like, they're naked, blah, 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 but, like, the woman is not at all naked, but the man is completely naked. That's that's just, like, censoring kind of thing, right? Well, because you could have had a kind of funny scene where it's, like, both of them are standing completely obscuring the person. They're both just analyzing. That would be kind of, you know, so they could have had her not nude in that sense, but... Or you could have had her nude in that sense. Back to the slavery. The whole mana thing, yeah, I agree with that. Like, Rudy, how do you feel about this? I want Rudy internal thoughts. Like, he is, like, he's good at, like, he has that mask he puts on so normally of, like, whatnot. But then we get some inner thoughts of him, like, empathizing with her. But it's nothing to do with her being enslaved and more so her being in despair, which is because of the slavery. But then he empathizes with the despair and says, like, what do you say? If you'd like, I could end it all for you. If you like, I could end it all for you. Yeah. Also, this is his language. He's freaking lingua franca. He's got a ton of languages under his belt, right? So that's cool, kind of cool to see. She smiles. That's like the first kind of expression change we get from her. I can't bring salvation to her life. Even if she wanted to die, you totally could. Could you not? Like, I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, I know your point is, like, you know, he can't, like, force her to have meaning. But she's so young and impressionable that I feel like you can fix that. Like, if she was, like, 17 and she had completely given up on life, like, that'd be something else. But even then, like, that's kind of a, like... But it's also kind of accepting of his circumstance. He can't just, like, save everyone. Well, he can save a lot of people if he dedicated his life to it, sure. But, like, that's kind of a big expectation to put on him. So I'm not trying to do that. But I've been through enough to know that that wouldn't be salvation. I mean, you're projecting. And that's not necessarily true for this random 6-year-old girl. You've had, like, 10 seconds of conversation with her, you know? But then she says, like, the despair thing. But I've been through enough to know that wouldn't be salvation. Forcing her to do something against her will. I can't save her by forcing her to do something against her will. I was not expecting to deal with this right now. I was not expecting to deal with, can you save a 6-year-old slave girl by forcing her to do something life-affirming? I was expecting school. Why are we buying slaves, Rudy? I was expecting we were going to school and reading some books about teleportation, getting in love triangles, and figuring out, and fits. And Luke or something, and Princess Ariel or whatever. Not like buying the slave girl. I was like maybe saving her or whatever with like Lilia in the squad. This is just kind of wild. What is happening? And it's like the reason we're doing this is so random. Like it's because Zenoba needs someone to sculpt his waifu figurines for that he wants to like cronk on. And that's me being kind of reductive, but like also kind of not, because he was naked humping it earlier. So he wants to we're buying a little slave girl to make erotic figurines for Zenoba to hump? Oh no. That's kind of what it feels, you know? That's like part of it. That's part of it. I don't want to, that's not in totality, but like it also, and nothing I said there was straight up wrong. If that's all I can offer, I might as well put her out of her misery. What the hell? Rudy, no, don't execute the 6-year-old. Don't execute the 6-year-old. You're projecting so hard. Say something. Because he was only going to do it if she said, I want to die. But, like, I think he would have. We're in his mental thoughts, and he seems resolved to. He's not, because if his mental thoughts were like, let me see what she really thinks, and then he's like, I could kill you, then that would say something about, like, he's not actually meaning that. But no, he means that 100%. If she said, I want to die here, he would have been willing to do it, right? I mean, he probably would have bought her just to execute her. And so we think he's doing the right thing, because he's going out of his way to help someone, because he's going out of his way purchasing her to help her. But helping her by killing her is a kind of crazy thing to, you know, that's pretty crazy. And it's just, the craziest thing to me is that we're doing this because Zenoba, because of kind of such a, like Zenoba is unable to do sculpting, and like learn that. I mean, we tried that for like a couple days and that didn't work. So it's like, okay, let's buy a slave girl to do it instead. But like, that's such a kind of crazy, I don't know, the reason to buy the slave girl itself is just kind of crazy to me. Like, because I was expecting him to learn earth magic, right, and do it, but he was trying to do that, no success. And then, I mean, so late in the game, can you even, like, how good can you learn magic? So much of learning magic, at least with mana capacity, has to do with doing it younger, you know, as Fitz said. So I guess I could kind of see that as being a little bit of a dead end, but then, like, he's like bad at sculpting, bad at crafts, and so it's like, that's like, it's like kind of such a, like, it's just like mundane, or like, I don't know, maybe random. It's just like, that's not a reason I would ever expect to buy a slave girl. Her being a girl is also interesting. Like flip a coin for gender, right? But like, okay, like she's a 6-year-old girl. That's like, it just makes it slightly, you know, like I don't know. It's like Rudy, like the way that I bring that up is like Rudy, past life tries to save the girls and gets hit by the car. You know, like I feel like he has like a saving thing towards girls specifically. You could maybe argue because like and like so many of the characters are female, right? Like someone like a lot of the male characters are strong. You know, like Paul, Rui Jerd, Zenoba. Pax isn't, but he's a villain. He's not like part of our squad. Well, but then a couple of the male characters are weak, but he even lets that bird boy die. So yeah, I'd almost say like like if it was a bird woman, he probably wouldn't have risked it, huh? Way back in episode like 13 or whatever. Like imagine if the toughs were all girls, would he have been risking it at all? I feel like he probably wouldn't have as much. But that's me kind of guessing on just kind of what we've seen from him, right? So it being a girl is like also kind of leans into that. What a peculiar situation. I feel like a little weird about it. I feel kind of weird about watching a 6-year-old girl who's a slave say she doesn't want to die and then get hired to make like somewhat erotic freaking sculptures for Zenoba. That's kind of a crazy dynamic. I don't want to die is good enough for now. It's also like crazy because like on one hand you could say like, oh, he saved her, right? And you could try, like see it really charitably, and it's like, well, yes, kind of, but he also like is keeping her a slave, like is now she's Zenoba's slave, so like he's not like freeing her, right? I mean that's distinct. Whether you would want him to or not is an entire question. I'd prefer if he freed the slave, but like ideally would like raise her up a bit and make sure she's good, you know, and then free her when she can like survive on her own kind of thing. But then you're literally like adopting a child, and that's like a lot to do. But now you're just adopting a slave, so now you're just, yeah, that's kind of crazy. So for him to do that, it's kind of like, okay, that's a little, you know, I don't know. I'm just taking it as it comes, I guess. Because you know, I could try to tear him to that, but I don't know if it's worth it, right? It's crazy because I mean he's buying the slave, like he's contributing to the slaver, right? The people that sourced the slave, wherever they got the slave from, the debt collectors, like he's putting money into the system, or maybe it's Zenoba's money, but he's like part of the process of putting money into the system that enslaves people, right? In the same way that like. I mean, you can do that with a lot of things in the modern day of like, I don't know, every time I buy a McChicken from McDonald's, right? Like, I'm like eating a cow that probably had a really horrible farmed life or whatever. And so that's like, you know, not great of me to do if I were to value the cow or whatever, right? Like that's like a thing in modern life. But here it's like you don't even have the layers of abstraction that you can use to rationalize, right? You don't have the I'm just buying a McChicken from McDonald's and I don't see the cow die and blah, blah, blah. You are literally in a room of cages with people. Like, it's in your face that this person was enslaved and that you are supporting the people that were part of the enslaving, you know? So, that's a pretty crazy That's a pretty crazy pill to swallow. That Rudy shows zero apprehension to swallow. And it's interesting because, I mean, frick, let me pull up last season. It was probably, when was this? Like episode 14? No, 13, 12, 13. Yeah, like we saved the slave girls. Ruby Jerd. Dude, Rudy, you should just follow Ruby Jerd's morals, bro. Let me help children, Giga Chad. But he's like, he shows no, like, I don't know, like, I guess he kind of is willing to help, what's her freaking name? Julius Caesar? Crazy that I referenced Julius Caesar earlier, and then Julie was the name that came up. That's actually crazy coincidence. Did man God tell me to? Whoa. Because the one sculpture looked like Julius Caesar from the back, and then Julie is like who it actually is. That's pretty funny. Oh, though, if those are the headstones that Julie's making, then at least those aren't erotic, they're just headstones of people, right? Still though, kind of weird, kind of a crazy situation. But yeah, like way back here, Ruby Jerd was like, we're going to save these enslaved children. In between Elena Lee's just having sex with like 17 people. right? Like Ruijerd's like, this is wrong. We're working with these like human, like these people that traffic people, and like we're partaking in that. And Ruijerd's not fine with like, if we're, I can bear, like he barely even is okay with partaking in it, and then he immediately is like, we're gonna destroy it, you know? And he's like, I'm gonna kill all the slavers, right? Like this is he makes it his problem. This is his mission, to help people, like help kids, right? Kids that are enslaved and going to be sold. And it's like, bro, these kids, like Minitona and Squad, are literally, Julie could have been them. You know what I mean? Here? Yeah. Like any of them could have been in Julie's position if Rudy didn't save him with Ruijerd. But like Ruijerd's let's save the kids, enslaving kids is bad ideals, Rudy's not following. I mean, though you could say that him being willing to execute the 6-year-old is him following that, because he's willing to, like, I assume, buy her, so go out of his own way so that he can kill her, which he would be seeing as like a good thing to do. Though I would see that as like not the right play in the slightest, because she's 6. And I would see that as pretty obvious, but I don't know. I'm just going to say that, you know, that's just me. But even then, he doesn't like show any sort of like care that, like, I mean, there's other kids here, right? I assume there's other kids. I mean, this girl in the back behind Fitz, that looks like a kid. So he doesn't show any apprehension to that, and seems perfectly comfortable in this environment. Which is interesting, because not only in the past, that's the thing, it's like not only in the past life is slavery usually is pretty bad, right? We don't like slavery quite a bit in the modern era, in a lot of places, right? I mean, I can stipulate. Including, like in his past life, I think he would be aware slavery is frowned upon, right? We can say it as simple as that. But even in this life, with Ruijerd, enslaving children was a plot point. So, for him to be so comfortable in this environment, it's like, I'm kind of surprised that you don't have any moral qualms here. And that you're, the thing that comes into, and then the closest thing to like a, let me try to help this person is, I can't actually help them, I can put them out of their misery. She's a 6-year-old girl, dog. That's insane! You're crazy! What? Am I crazy for thinking that killing the 6-year-old like a horse with a broken leg is the wrong play? Like, I'm not crazy for that, right? Like, I don't see how that is all conceivably a good play. She has such a big head in this frame. She's smart, bro. She has a massive head. And then he well, this is at least good that he's like going out of his way to like teach her, but like he's teaching her so that she can be good for Zenoba, right? It's like, how much is this for her sake? Right? Like, we did this for Zenoba, and then we decided that it should be a kid. We literally went to the slave store for Zenoba, and then we're like, okay, now we think it should be a kid because of magic stuff, when they were browsing. So the whole, like, it wasn't like, oh, let me go, it wasn't like his intent to buy a slave was like, I'm gonna save a kid and get the Zenoba thing accomplished. It was, I'm gonna buy a slave. Oh, looks like a kid's gonna be the best play. This kid kind of wants to die. Should I kill him? Nope, let's save him. But then it's like, how much do you care about the kid? You know? If you're still keeping them as a slave, I mean, you're feeding them, but like, I mean, it's like, dude, like a slave owner that treats their slaves well. That's like what it kind of is. And it's weird. It's just a weird relationship. And it's being done like where it's like, I feel like it's being framed really positively, but like, is it? I don't even know. It's just kind of happening. It's just like, Fitz is like, aw, look, he saved her. Like, Fitz is happy with this. Rudy, like, he's, the OP shows it as like Rudius was the light, you know? Oh my goodness. This is crazy. This is a very interesting situation that has developed. And it's Zenoba's slave, right? So it's not even gonna be like his decision to like free her down the line. I mean, if he like keeps her as a slave and then frees her when she's like old enough to like be an individual, you know, like 15 in this world, let's just say that, then that would be, I guess, okay-ish? I don't know. But like, how are you raising her as a slave? I mean, they're raising her, they're teaching her magic, she's helping out collecting clay, so like, she's doing work. She fumbled it. Oh, her cute little face. She's like, ah. And then Zenoba's like, yep, this is what you should do. Yeah, so it's like we're buying her and then forcing her into like slave child labor to be my artist, bro. What is happening? It's just going beyond the sexual elements. It's starting to make crazy plays in other realms too. Whoa. Whoa. Like we're going into controversy that's even beyond sexual degeneracy and like, you know, sexual elements with minors. We're going into like enslaving minors and child labor and Rudius, you know, doing that. And also having no moral qualms about supporting the people that perpetrate this, even though in his past life and Ruijerd in his current life are moral beacons for like that being wrong. So he doesn't care about those. His personal morals is like, nah, it's fine. I'll buy the slave. Does he buy the slave? Who buys the slave? I assume it's Zenoba's money. I don't think they actually mention specifically. Huh. Yeah, Rudy, I'm just like, I don't think I can be friends with you. I don't think I can be friends with you, Rudy. Like, to be like the crazy thing is, dude, Fitz is like, for the time, for Fitz to go out of her way to heal the slave, it's like, oh, Fitz is like, treats them with human decency, right? And so that's like, good on you, Fitz. You were raised in this world where slavery is common, but you're still like, this is an individual, they deserve to be healed. Like, good Fitz move, right? And Rudy offers death, which I think he sees as him being somewhat positive, but that's kind of a crazy thing to do for a 6-year-old, I would argue. Cause like, huh? Oh, you're sad as a 6-year-old, you're depressed. Bing, bing. Like that's just crazy to me. I wouldn't trust a 6-year-old to you know, like, it's like assisted suicide. We want to talk about the ethics of assisted suicide, and then with a 6-year-old, you can, like, a 6-year-old is way past the line of when I think that would be remotely like a smart idea. And I mean, that is like a moral whatever thing, but it's like, dude, Rudy is like, I feel like it's to the point of like, that's kind of crazy to even throw out, you know? Because it's like, well, what is it? Like, you buy her and kill her, you buy her and raise her, you leave her here. Leaving her here, that sucks for her. Buying her and killing her, at least you're trying to do something for her, but like, I feel like I'm inhaling copium by even going that far. And then buying her and raising her, Pog! Oh, and then the fourth option, what we actually did, buy her as a slave, and then treat her well, but as a slave. The 6-year-old girl. Wow. What a casual slave buying experience with this happy, like, jolly music, too. Or, like, not jolly, but, like, with this, like, normal music, right? Young lady, at least he's speaking to her with respect. Bro, can I get Ruijerd back? Strong morals, taking over the world, making moves, very active. Give me some Ruijerd, bro. I love Ruijerd. Ruijerd is a fun character. I like Fitz as well. I do like Fitz. What are you reaching for, man? What is your... Okay, the red bandana and the white beard, they do not work well together. Okay, you're not in a desert, you're in a city. This is a normal city. I don't know what you're trying to do here. What is that bandana for? Like, I don't expect Zenoba to, like, care. You know? Zenoba's like, this is normal. Fitz, I appreciate what we've seen from Fitz. Rudy immediately projecting onto the 6-year-old is just like, that's Rudy. Like, your mental is in a crazy spot. To be like, yeah, she's me for real, for real. And I kind of wanted to die. Let's see if she wants to die. Like, I can take you out, bro. This show just keeps hitting me, bro. I'm literally just chilling, watching. They're like, let's go buy a slave. And I'm like, what? And then they hit me in the back of the head with a bat. And I go, whoa. And I get all dazed, bro. This is a dazing show. Yeah, rude. Like, what is happening? My eyes used to look the same way. I've lost hope and just wanted to give up on everything. It's just, man, it's also kind of crazy to use a slave girl as, like, this, like, personification of, like, his despair that he's felt. I mean, like, that's like full sending it. Like there's not much more despair you could get than being a slave your entire existence and being miserable and malnourished. Like, yeah, if you want a character full of despair, like they just stacked up a bunch of despair tokens, you know? Which is interesting, as opposed to like meeting a student that has like a bunch of despair, or like meeting a student that's going through like a lot of mental stuff, that's going through like blah blah blah. Like this is like heavy-handed's not quite the right word because there's a lot of negative connotation there, but it's I guess to the point and blunt, right? Would be better words, as opposed to being like a crazy like, ooh, like let me get into your psyche. It's like, oh, she's in despair because she's like, it's very obvious why she's in despair here. Like, you know, boom boom bang. Man, I'm just Rudius's mentality with this is just so wild to me. Oh my god. Hey, child. Hey, I just met you. You're looking unhappy. You want to die? And I know it's not just you're looking unhappy. It's you're in despair because you're a malnourished slave, you know? It's just, yeah, so it's kind of crazy to me to use a slave girl to like get this point of like really empathizing with somebody with despair, with his like own past despair, and like, you know, it's interesting to do that with this slave girl as opposed to like meeting a student that's going through that, or like anything else, right? Because I mean, the reason we're here is for Zenoba is unable to use magic, therefore we are here, right? Like, Zenoba could have also just been able to use magic, and then we wouldn't have come here, right? So, like we see the stepping stones for why we're here, so we can read backwards and be like, okay, it's not like we were forced here because of some crazy plot element. Like, the reason we're here was introduced this episode, right? I kind of thought Zenoba was actually knew how to sculpt because he had been here, but it's like, no, he doesn't know anything about sculpting. He's just humping a bunch of statues and then going to magic class once a month. Like, wow, bro. Kind of thought we'd be already learning the earth magic because we're at a magic university, but he just doesn't use magic. So it's like, okay. That kind of surprised me a little bit. So it's like, what are you doing here, man? What are you studying again? I guess he was trying to specifically conjure the figurine as opposed to like shape. Because what I originally thought Rudy was doing with all the figurines was taking like a clump of earth and shaping it. I didn't realize he was straight up conjuring. You know? So I kind of thought Zenoba would be doing the same, which is why I was confused when he was just holding his hands out. I was like, what are you doing, dog? And maybe we've seen before, like, Rudy conjuring. In fact, we probably have. I just forgot about that. I think we have in, like, way early when we've seen figurines made. Those were probably conjured, huh? So I just forgot about that, I guess. Point being, though, like, you could still sculpt things with, like, earth magic, right? By, like, in the same way he quagmires things. Like, you could, I kind of assumed you could sculpt in that way, too. So... yeah, I assume that just isn't much of an option for Zenoba, that Zenoba doesn't know how to use that. Don't know what Zenoba is learning at this school then, if not figurine stuff. Because if he's here not to learn figurine stuff, and instead just to... because he needs a slave girl to do it for him, then it's like, what are you here for, man? Like, what are you learning here, if anything? I mean, I know you're a special student, so maybe nothing straight up, or like something weird and specific. Like, I don't know, he's an art historian. I could see that being the case. Where he's not like a producer, he's just more of a consumer. Consumer? What's that? Consumer? Coomsumer. Like a coonsumer? Coomsumer? Wow. Yeah, Rudy, I mean, I feel like this is kind of crazy, Rudy. I'm like, Rudy, you're kind of losing me a little bit, dog. You're kind of losing me a little bit, dog. I feel like whenever people have been saying, like, don't apply, like, current world morals to Rudy, it's all just to, like, for this scene now, you know? Where it's like, that's the reasoning people are saying that. Or the reason people are saying that is because, like, we're going to jump into slavery, which, you know, pretty condemned. I mean, it's been around for most of human history, sure. But, I mean, for Ruby in comparison to Ruby for Rudy to kind of be paying for this, or at least be fun, like in part of like choosing someone. Maybe it's Zenoba's money. I assume it's Zenoba's money to pay for it. But like being part of the group that contributes to it. And then also like the closest thing of like for the girl he's willing to do is kill her. It's like, bro, like would you have bought her? Well, yeah. I mean, you're buying her for being a slave. Okay, that's just crazy. What else even happened this episode? Fitz is just fitzing it up, not telling Rudy how she actually feels. Came up with the idea for the slave thing, and Rudy was like, "Oh, slaves, bog." Um, we did a little bit of the, like the magic stuff with Zenoba. Look, the candle. I didn't even notice that. The candles change, like goes down to show the time passing. Look at that. Dudunk. Yeah, it gets lower and lower. That's a fun detail. So yeah, I wonder if he's doing like art historian or something at this magic school. Zenoba, what are you learning? What are you learning? He made a pretty good... Who did he make? That's so... That's... What? That's Fitz. That's female Fitz. He's coping, bro. He made a female Fitz. Look. It's Fitz without the sunglasses with massive honkers. And it's Fitz because it has the wand. And it's this wand is because it has this the tape on it. The tape on it part is what Fitz carries around. Is this gender bent Fitz that he made? Or did he make adult Sylphie? I think it's gender bent Fitz. He's literally gender bending Fitz because that's his inspiration he's using for his work because his inspiration was in a pit. Let me gender bend my male friend because that's crazy. That's inhaling so much copium, bro. I'm kind of feeling some kind of way. Let me just put honkers on it and then I'll feel more comfortable. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question to be dealing with is like how he feels sexuality wise. You know, wasn't expecting us to deal with that, but I'm down with it. That's cool. That's a cool subject to broach. This is just funny that he gender bends his male friend that he's like starting to feel some kind of way for, and that's how he's breaking his lack of creative flow that he's been having recently. Wow. I'm sure I don't swing that way. Surely. And then Fitz just saying like, oh, my friend, you won't be able to meet him. Oh, you're a comedian now. I didn't realize. Yeah. That's crazy. Huh. And then, okay, yeah, this teleportation book, like the symbol on it, because yeah, previously with the sculpture stuff, he was like he wasn't very happy with his sculptures, and they were like men, right? But then he gender bends into a woman, something he's attracted to, and that's when his like creative comes out. Like that seems to make sense given that previously his creative endeavors were, making like figurines of people he found attractive a lot of the time, right? With like Roxy or whatever. This here, I mean, we have moon imagery, we have like these kind of feather type things, and it's a teleportation book, and then we look over to Homegirl, wherever she is in this OP, and I mean, it was like the same imagery, right? The teleportation, like the girl studying the thing. I think right here. What's up, Julie? Why are you in the story? What are we gonna do with you? I'm very curious what we're gonna do with you moving forward. Other than that kind of despair beat, which I feel like could have been accomplished another way. So it's like, okay, what are we gonna do with like now we have a slave girl hanging out? Like, are people gonna be like, oh, she's so cute? It's like you're a little kid, like it's your little kid. And we're gonna have like a parenting arc. Okay, Fitz and Rudy raise Julie. They're like the parents to Julie, which is like Fitz playing house or something. They're like playing house with each other. I guess is that a play? But yeah, so Homegirl here. This is definitely the same teleportation stuff, right? I mean, it's just gotta be, right? What else is she gonna be studying? That's like she's studying it by herself, allowed to skip classes. Teleportation's taboo. It looks like circles and glyphs. Yeah, I mean, I just assume that's also teleportation magic. Though that thing that she has is so much more like crazy, right? In comparison. Let me, I guess, real quick. Barrier magic. The lecture. I did not hear the lecture. I do want to hear the magic lecture. Elena Leeds is just seducing random people. Okay. He looked really comfortable. I'm being sarcastic because he did not look at all comfortable with what was going on. He's literally closing his eyes. Stop sexually molesting the boys. He's clenching his teeth. His eyes are closed. Stop sexually molesting the children. I guess he's an adult, but well, probably because he's in the school. So like, stop sexually molesting people that are like 300 years younger than you, elf. Bad elf. Spray bottle. Just go hire a male prostitute. Or literally just go into the inn in the town, bro. Like, you don't gotta push yourself onto people. But do whatever you want. I don't care that much. Okay, so barrier magic is used throughout the word today. I'm gonna just mute this. But until recently, the holy country of Millis concealed these spells. Okay, interesting. So we were unable to offer lessons in them here. Oh my goodness, this Julie situation's crazy. Though we are still forbidden to teach beyond the beginner level the basics. Okay, so Millis has a monopoly on barrier magic, but past the beginner level right now. Gotcha. Pax hired someone from Millis then to do it, right? Because Pax had a super high level one. And didn't he hire a mage to do that? So he had to hire someone from Millis. Something to note. Something to note. Could become relevant. Okay, that was the entire lecture. Okay, well, that's all I got for this episode of Mushoku Tensei, A Jobless Reincarnation. On to the next, episode 7. Woo, boy. Woo, boy. Julie, are we just going to play house with you? We're going to buy a slave and play house with the slave? We'll see. We'll see. We're just along for the ride. Episode 7 should be exciting. Of course. If you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, blah, blah, blah. Comment below if you have anything to say, or join the Discord and talk to me other Mushoku Tensei fans there. Notification bell as well. Check the socials as well. Instagram, you already know how it goes. And that's all I got for this. I will be seeing you on episode 7. Should be very, very exciting. I'll be seeing you then.